Nope.
Not that one.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Wait. I'm trying.
Hit that shit. What are you doing? Hey, William Holcomb's in there.
Hey.
And he's already hit the like button.
Oh, he's the best.
Kill Jadis. Kill Jadis. I don't know if you saw the TikTok we made on your behalf, but it was pretty epic. Lalo Maloso. Paul?
Oh?
Hello, Paul. Hello, Paul.
Is your name Paul?
Hi, I'm Paul. Chronicles of the Black Hole, OG Daniel. He says, rest in peace, Justin Fields. Leatherwood is protecting you. Yikes. Yikes. Hey, shout out Chicago.
Thanks for picking up that $6 million.
Yeah, no kidding, right? John Ogle. Normando Rodriguez is in there. Raider Roo, Ebony Graves. Anyone coming in here for this sweet jersey that we're raffling off?
Let's go.
Ooh.
This thing is going to be badass.
I might have to buy some poker chips myself.
Yeah, you will.
Michelle Sweat, Ray Love. Ron, the Mater Raider.
Ron?
Is your name Ron?
Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Episode number 258 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get this thing kicked off. Appreciate you, Raider Nation.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, select the top, a leaping top, let's go!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, high running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
Why, thank you, Brent Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your old buddy Murph back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 258 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live from Murph's Fan Cave, or what Lil Murph likes to call the bonus room. So we appreciate all of those of you that are joining us live tonight on the YouTubes. So many of our good friends are in there tonight. William Holcomb, Ron the Raider, Paul Edgerton, Tyrone Graves, Raider Roo, Michelle Sweat, William Holcomb. Let's see who else is in there. Lencho is in there. Appreciate so many of our good friends. Ray Love is in there. So many of our good folks. Chronicles of the Black Hole. Daniel B. Al. Tons of folks in there ready to talk some Raiders football, and which we are fresh off the Raiders being undefeated in the preseason. Let's go. We'll take that first time in team history. So we're gonna jump into plenty of Raiders talk tonight. But before we get to that, we're gonna do some respect / intros here at the top of the show. Actually, what I'm gonna do first though, before I even get to that, I've got to welcome in the second man in the booth. We got 3 folks in the booth tonight. Welcome in the second man in the booth. Let's welcome to the show my best friend and yours from the Western Annex of the Southern Annex. He is Swag Jeff.
Well, yeah. Oh,
Hi, Mosh.
no Swaggy tonight.
Where's Swaggo?
He's gone. And I just want to know this. Who is that over there?
Hi, son.
Hey.
Please welcome to the show the third man in the booth, my son Tristan, home from serving over there in Rota, Spain. He is home visiting on leave for a couple of weeks. We appreciate you and your service and everything
Yeah, we do.
what you do when you go to work every day. And I'd love to have you back here in the fan cave, son.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for the nice warm introduction.
CBs can do, buddy.
Yeah, they do.
Let's go, man.
Hey, give me a hug.
Oh, of course, of course.
It's so good to see you.
So good to
so
see you,
good
too.
to see you. No, don't ever get in my chair. Ever get in my chair again. Ever. Yes. Then get out of here. Unscathed.
Hi, Mosh.
I love that kid.
Yeah, you do.
Pretty clear about that, huh? Holy cow.
Hey, Tristan, come back here for a second.
Get over here. I love him with everything that I am.
Oh, my gosh. Well, he's your namesake.
Here, snatch my chair for a second, pal.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, get in the chair real quick. I got a couple questions for you, son.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. How did it feel to be home and get beat by Uncle Mosh within the first day you're home?
Felt like I was home again.
Welcome to my life.
So we said, Tristan, now this is how we're going to do this. Have you ever been hit by a pan before? And he goes, Uncle Mark, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up being hit by that pan.
pants. So you're fresh home from the Navy. You're going back to the Navy, of course. Still active duty. So did you get a chance while you were deployed or otherwise? Did you get a chance to watch any sports? Did you get a chance to see any Raider games?
So the week I got back, spending that week working on my truck with my buddy, and then afterwards we'd go out to eat and watch the game.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
did you get a chance? What was the last one you saw?
It was the Patriots Raiders game.
Oh, okay. That was the one I was
Friday.
at. That was this last week.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So did you enjoy watching the game?
Well, we were at Twin Peaks, so there wasn't much watching the game. I looked, I was like, they're winning. It's all right.
And so were you, bro.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, good. Well, glad to have you back home, son. We love you so much.
Amen.
We're so proud of you, and much respect to you. And you're gonna maybe come back and help us with some emails and stuff later, right?
For sure.
All right, son. Love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's give it up for the boys. All right, and then over here we got the third man in the booth tonight, official. He is my best friend and yours, and
Yeah, he
didn't
is.
catch a beating from Uncle Mosh. How is it, Swag Jeff? What's going on, bud?
Oh my gosh, it's so good to be here, and I got to watch a little bit of the chat that was going through, and there's already some donations. There's already
we
some
love
donations. So Uncle Mosh right there, if you'll reach behind you right there and grab. So without further ado, we're giving
get into it, man.
The summer of swag is rolling on, and we have a.
Ready?
Oh, nice. There you go. Oh, the Davante Adams.
the signed Davante Adams
jersey with the Beckett Certificate of Authenticity. It is here. It is ready. And we already have some donations that are flying in. I got to scroll back up. But I see Tyrone Graves made a donation, and so did Kill Jadis. So each one of you guys get a poker chip tonight. But hey, every $10 donation tonight gets you one poker chip into the running to win this signed Davante Adams jersey. And we're doing it big for the One Nation Foundation tonight.
sir.
You know, we had another $1,000 night last
Amazing.
week on Tuesday. That's an unbelievable thing. We've had a $1,200 night, a $1,000 night, a $1,500 night, and we're hoping maybe we can, let's keep that rolling. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's do it big for the One Nation Foundation and get your hands on an awesome piece of swag like that. And then also for a couple secondary winners, we'll send you some T-shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too.
our TeePublic folks are sending us now. So anytime that we get secondary winners, you give us your information, and TeePublic will send you the stuff directly.
Big
It
time.
used to be we had to order the shirts and then send them to you. From now on, man, they just send it to you direct. And so we appreciate our good folks at TeePublic and all the amazing advertising opportunities that we have coming up. We've got some more coming up with a Drizzly. We're going to be doing some ad reads with the Drizzly folks.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
hey, and you know what? And if you flip it to my camera,
Yeah.
we might have a sponsorship coming soon.
And you know,
I'm not gonna tease anything too much, but if you look up here at the top of the dome right there, we might have a little something in the works right here.
A little something.
Yeah, a little something.
a little something you might be able to order from your old Drizzly.
Hey,
How about
come on
that?
with it.
Hey, that's a workout. Like, it's what do you call that? Bringing it together. What are we doing, Jeff?
You're hitting the post.
Well,
I don't know. You yelled at me for not knowing what that was a couple weeks ago.
about bringing the brands together. It's what am I trying to say, Mosh?
You're getting the cohesive unit working.
Hey. Speaking of cohesive units, let's formally welcome to the show the one and only Uncle Mosh. What's going on?
Man, I got my camera here, my whatchamacallit here, it ain't working. Maybe Tristan, if I ask him real nice, he'll come over and fix my computer.
I don't think he's gonna do a damn thing for you. You just beat his ass.
Unless he wants another one, then he'll bring his young ass over here.
Well, I'll let him speak. I'm not gonna give him an ass beating because I'm a smart ass.
The only reason he got whipped is because Kathy has put me on a 100% hiatus from fighting with you.
Oh, so you found a loophole.
So I found a loophole. Somebody's
Somebody's
gonna
catch a beating.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. I guess I got a picture of you guys at lunch today.
Yeah, we had lunch
You had lunch, and I got a picture from Domenico's, and I was working, and all of a sudden my phone pops up, and there's this picture of you two guys eating lunch, and I'm like, right on. I didn't know he was coming home so early, but that's we'll take him. So that's a good thing.
So the last time Tristan ate at Domenico's was Domenico's in Alameda. And so then now here we had Domenico's here in Tennessee. And we are also, speaking of Domenico's, join us next week, same time as always, but we're going to be doing a live remote from said Domenico's. And it's going to be great. We're testing out our new mobile setup because we're going to have our live remote at Domenico's, and then we're going to have our live remote for the tailgate coming up very soon for the Raiders-Titans game. And then also we're going to be doing it with the Bolitnikoff Foundation dinner. That's coming up as well. So check us out next week when we're live from the great Domenico's Italian Deli.
Tristan he's a CB. He's one of the elite, one of the only few in the world as members of the CBs, but he's also in another club, which a lot of people didn't realize that this club exists because Jeff Murphy and I just decided last week, the owner of Domenico's Murfreesboro, we were talking about it. It's a little known fact, but I'm helping him out a little bit. I'm now that I'm retired, my wife and I go in and we work the lunch rush for him, and we help him out. And and I get paid in salami and provolone and stuff. And anyway, but we said that he was talking about some folks came in. They're from San Jose, and they were saying about how we think we'd been to the one in Alameda, blah blah blah. And we said there needs to be a club. There needs to be a club of those people that have eaten at both Domenico's.
Absolutely,
because there's only about a handful that we know of. 3 of them reside in this house.
Yeah, Will Compton was in that club. Yeah.
And after next month, ta-da, will be one of them.
That's right. Yeah.
So there's going to be there might be a Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, Domenico's fame. That works like that.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into the donations over there, and I appreciate our good folks at Domenico's, and definitely patronize them when you're in town at Alameda or when you're here in Middle Tennessee for the Raiders-Titans game. Swaggo, you got an update for us on the donations.
Oh my gosh, we've already had so many come in. So and I can't scroll back up to see all the comments. I know Pineapple said so good to see Tristan in there, but Kill Jada says a $10 donation. Tyrone Graves, a $10 donation. Ebony Graves, a $10 donation. Mike Nezer, a $20 donation. Pineapple, a $50 donation.
go.
And Tider Raider, a $10 donation.
Awesome.
We are already over $100 tonight. So yeah, keep it going, man. I'm going to show it up again, all nice and close right here. This Davante Adams signed jersey. It is so clean. It is so awesome. It's got
amazing.
the
Clean,
Beckett
clean.
sticker right there. This guy is gonna be. He's gonna be my first pick in the fantasy drafts. That I do,
dude.
You know, so get in the mix, man. Every $10 donation, let's do a bit.
Wait, he's going to go ahead of Renfro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go ahead. Yeah, he'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Who was that was on last week that was saying that he would pick Renfro first?
Oh, that was
yeah.
Derwin
Derwin
James.
James.
Yeah. Hey, they're both of them are going to get plenty of targets. That's for sure.
Exactly.
You think I won't have both of them? You kidding me?
What's going to be interesting, and this is the first point I want us to jump in on here, and we'll go ahead and do the episode number and hit contact info. But I want to jump in on this Darren Waller thing that took some really interesting developments here today. So real quick, let's just get into the episode number. Let's do that, and then hit contact, and then I want to talk about Darren Waller.
Yeah, absolutely. So each and every week I take a significant moment within Raider Nation and relate it back to the episode number, and I got a couple for you. Well, actually, I didn't have a damn thing for you, but T-Hom did. So, and he's got a couple of good ones. So the first one, we're going to be talking about a career Raider stat, guys. So we're going to be talking about the guy that you just mentioned, number 83, Darren Waller.
Nice. Come on.
So yeah, so absolutely. So he has donned the shield since 2018 and currently has 258 receptions for the Raiders.
Nice.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. So if you didn't like that, which I don't know why you wouldn't, I got a career stat for you.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about an old school guy, Uncle Mosh. And we're going to be talking about
I love the old school guys.
the old school guys, man. So, and this is almost old school for you too.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about wide receiver number 81, Warren Wells.
Oh.
Warren Wells from 67 to 70. He had 42 receiving touchdowns.
Which is only 3 years.
In 3 years. It's an unbelievable stat. Most of those being thrown to him by the Mad Bomber himself, Darren
Yes,
Lamonica.
now you're talking.
But a lot of people don't know this, but he actually has one rushing touchdown.
Nuh-uh.
He had one rushing touchdown. So if you do the math on that, 43 total touchdowns for the Raiders. 258 points scored for the Silver and Black.
Come on.
Well, yeah.
So, do you know anything about that rushing touchdown? Was the ball handed to
No,
you from the line of scrimmage?
I was born probably 30 years later.
30 years. Well, yeah, and those memories for me are in black and white. They're not even motion pictures. They're just stills.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, so that's an awesome stat.
Isn't it a fun stat? Yeah,
Nice.
100%. 100%. So the donations are still rolling in here. So let's see. Ebony Graves with another $10 donation says, "Let's go." Chronicles of the Black Hole with a $10 donation, and then Daniel Mangus, who's been MIA from the chat for a little bit.
Yeah, what's the story?
He's been saving up his money.
So I think it's Daniel and Matthew. I think Matthew they must have played rock scissors paper or something, and he got computer time. And
well, that must be it. But I think
Yeah.
Daniel. I think we haven't seen him in the chat because they both had to get second jobs because tonight they're about to do it big for the One Nation Foundation, and both of them are going to be fighting over this Davante Adams.
I just got to do a flashback because I had to work last week and I couldn't make it. You guys, unbelievable last week. Unbelievable. You had people dropping deuces, and I don't mean like the way I drop a deuce.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
yeah, we had 3 people over $200.
That was
last week.
And Q Dog with a
Q-Dog
251.
251. Yeah, he had to outdo everyone
my
by that
gosh.
buck, man. Yeah, he was the
was
winner. Yeah, he was the
crazy.
winner in the clubhouse, and so yeah, just so cool.
Unbelievable.
yeah.
What a week last week was.
It was fun, man. It was fun. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff, and all that. We made a lot of TikToks out of our stuff, so it was good stuff.
Yeah. So,
All right, gentlemen, let's hit some contact info and let's jump into some conversation on Darren Waller.
Let's do that.
woo! Hey, Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346. Or as Murph would say, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me?
You want to email me?
Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio, or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough,
oh
go
my
to your
gosh.
podcast provider and search Raiders
my computer's
Fan
down.
Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot. Leader in the clubhouse.
Good. Well,
It wasn't as good as what just happened in the chat
we
because
got
the
thrown
chat
off.
just got freaking insane. So much respect
Holy crap.
to Fabricator Gil, who just donated the most donation money in one lick ever in a super chat. He just donated $300 to the One Nation Foundation. Holy shit, man. Wow. Thank you so much. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that. So 30 poker chips go to Fabricator Gil, followed quickly by Kevin the Raider Nerd, who says, much love to the One Nation Foundation. Murph, great job on Silver and Black today. Good to see Mosh, Swaggo, and Tristan. A $50 donation to the One Nation Foundation. And then Mike Nezer, who already had donated $20, threw in another, that's Canadian money, $69.99.
Which is $10,000.
I think it is. So I will have to go. I'll have to do the calculations on that, or Mike Nezer, if you'll just tell me and save me a little bit of trouble.
That is amazing. Thank you.
Hey, much respect.
Freaking believable.
Thank you.
And
wow,
Gil.
and you guys got to run the show for just a second.
I got it because I gotta give. So we're gonna hear at the top of the show. We're gonna give. I said I wanted to talk about Waller. We're gonna do that. Shoot. But let's go ahead and just start off with a little bit of respect. You know, we always. Here at the top of the show, we don't do props, we don't do shout-outs. There's nothing wrong with those things, but we're Italian, so we like to give a little bit of respect.
You guys went a little crazy on this song last week.
Swaggy J Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
All right, we appreciate all of you those that are in the chat, and I want to give respect to Fabricator Gil for that. Look, and we appreciate all the donations, and whether it's a $10 donation or, in this case, a $300 donation, absolutely unbelievable. But we appreciate you, Fabricator Gil, and the IE. And I want to give respect to Gil as well because he hooked me up with some fantastic seats at the game. So I got to go to the Raiders Patriots preseason game, myself and my girl Valerie, and we had an amazing time at the game. Got a chance to watch the Raiders up close and in person, and watch them take care of the Patriots in the preseason. And those seats you get access to the Twitch lounge and the whole 9 yards. Absolutely phenomenal. Allegiant Stadium, I've taken the tour. And I've been to a few games now, and so I've kind of seen the place a little bit. Got to tour through the Twitch lounge, but never sat in the Twitch lounge. I got to enjoy.
So what's that like?
It's got its own bars. It's got its own the Viva Los Nachos booth.
No,
the bomb. They serve it to you in a half a football, or in a half a Raiders football. It's
nice.
So the food is phenomenal.
You were playing the Patriots. Was the football a little deflated?
Nice one. Yeah, but it was great. So I can't respect him enough and thank him enough for the kindness and the generosity on sharing that. And so while we're on respect, there was a few things at that game that were very unique. Even though it was a preseason game, there were some cool things. Mosh, you would have loved it. So they gave respect, being the Raiders, at the game to a Raider fan that was attending her first game.
Right.
Yes.
And so I want to give respect to Helen Emerson, She has been a fan since 1960. She is, if I remember right, she's 94 years old.
94. I saw that. Yeah.
And so here's a picture of Helen. I don't know if you can
that's
see it on
so cool.
So she's attending the game there at Allegiant. Fan since 1960, first game ever, first Raider game there at Allegiant Stadium. And so they celebrated Helen. And basically the reason that they celebrated Helen was that they were celebrating the history of the organization, that she was there since 1960 as a fan. And so they had come out on the field at halftime, over 300 members of Raiders alumni.
No.
Dating from 1960 all the way to modern day. Every single team was represented on the field. Every single incarnation of the Raiders for every year was represented. Of course, and all the legends were there. Hendricks and Politnikoff and Villapiano and all the big names that you know. But so many great players. And so let's get to the gathering. I got a couple audio bites for you on the gathering, and then I've got a really cool kicker to this whole story that is so badass. Okay, so let's go. First, let's hear our man from Stanford, our fellow San Jose resident, Mosh. That is the great Jim Plunkett. And I'm talking about this gathering of alumni.
It's wonderful. You know, I played for 3 teams, and no offense to anybody else, believe me. But, you know, Mr. Davis and now Mark Davis has done a great job in bringing back many of the alumni, their families, their children, as often as he can. And, you know, it's our second time here in a couple of years. And it's a lot of fun to catch up on how everybody else that we've played with, some against, are doing. It's a lot of history, you know, and, you know, you look back and you know, you learn about what happened before we got here as players. And, you know, I followed the Raiders since they started in Oakland in 1960. I was living in San Jose at the time. And, you know, I've always thought a lot about the team and a lot about the organization. I heard more about their players in San Francisco as well because I live in the Bay Area. But, you know, and Mr. Davis being the owner, it had, I won't say mystique, that's overdoing it, but there was something about the Raiders and how they did things and the kind of characters they had on the football field, and that list goes on. And it intrigued you, it got you interested in watching the Raiders play. It certainly did for me as a kid.
All right, there. So yeah, I love that. There's one cool thing about Jim Plunkett is that, you know, regardless of how you feel about whether he's, you know, Hall of Fame worthy or not, he's certainly a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And you know, I was never more starstruck meeting a Raider than I was when I met Jim Plunkett. And, you know, again, he's a local guy. He's a San Jose guy, grew up a Raider fan. And so that's what this whole thing about.
James Lick High School.
James Lick High School. There you go. And he kind of hedges a little bit on the Raider mystique, but I think that's him being humble because it really is. I mean, the things that he and the Raiders and the organization did were absolutely just monumental in terms of, like, you know, founding the freaking league and the NFL. And so anyway, so great stuff there from Jim, and appreciate those comments. Mosh, you're going to love this one. So they got all these alumni in town, right? Well, one of them, as I mentioned, all the teams are represented, including the last couple of years, and representing the recent Raiders was Richie Incognito. And
no way!
Yeah, and so one of the things that I like about these comments we're getting ready to play is that you had mentioned one of the things you liked about Incognito, and one of the things that last year you were glad that Bisaccia kept him around because he was like mentoring and coaching.
Absolutely.
You know, he was
players
coach. So here he is. He's still doing it. And he's talking about being around the young guys and mentoring them. So here, let's check in with Richie Incognito.
I mean, it all comes back to technique. You know, to getting young guys to play, it's understanding the playbook and then playing within the technique. So with a lot of guys I've been talking with Lester, Andre, John Simpson, Colton, stuff like that, just talking them through technique, talking them through what they're thinking. I think I kind of I approach it a little bit different than a coach because I know a guy's fears. I know what they're out there trying to do and how they're interpreting that, and I can kind of break it down in some simpler terms. So I've been working with a couple guys. I'm mentoring some of the guys, just getting them cleaned up on technique. You know, we talk mindset. We talk about taking care of your body, getting rest. You know, kind of controlling all the things you can control. You know, sleep, nutrition, hydration, all that good stuff. So that's what I'm trying to impress upon the young guys because obviously playing for so long, I've accumulated so much knowledge. So I love giving it back to the guys.
All right, good stuff.
You know, there's an old coaching technique, and people that have been successful coaches have been utilizing it for years. And you bring people like Richie Cognito in. It's done at the lower levels too. I brought Jeff in Swag Jeff, when he was, did you work for me for about 2 or 3 years at least?
Yeah, for sure.
As an assistant coach. And he wasn't an assistant coach, but he was that just had graduated level, had been an athlete, had been an actor for me, and I brought him in as like my assistant, almost as that go-between. And it works. It works. Yeah. It's like with your kids. You can tell your kids something 100 times, and then somebody else steps in and tells them the exact same thing in another way, and they go, ding, the light bulb goes off, right? And that's what, even at this level, even at the pro level, they can do that. When I was in college, I had a professor tell a story. She was a math teacher about she couldn't get through to Tommy. She was teaching simple math. And this girl leans over to him and goes, you tote the one, stupid. And talking about carrying the one over. He didn't understand the whole carry it. You tote the one, stupid. And I'll never forget that. And the light bulb goes off. So he's toting the one for these guys. He's teaching them. He's saying to it, not in coach speak, not in whatever. He's going, if you can't get under there, you got to go this way. It's a great tool to have those kinds of folks in house.
That's awesome, man. Great comments there from Mosh. And yeah, I always say I learn more from my teammates getting around them and having conversations than you do from sitting in a classroom or whatever. And so yeah, love that concept, Mosh, about that, having that go between, that liaison to the players there. Good stuff. All right, so so I got to meet a lot of cool people, right? Whenever we take Raider trips, we get a chance to meet the coolest of folks.
Sure.
Walking through Allegiant Stadium, Valerie and I hear, hey, Murph! Turn around, and he goes, Lalo! Lalo Meloso.
Oh, nice.
Lalo Meloso and Mr. Los Angeles, 2 made men around here. And so that was very, very cool. Got a chance to talk to them for a minute, take a picture. And just, a handful of folks walking around the stadium that, we waved at or whatever. So that was very, very cool. Raider Puppet. Met him at the airport. Raider got to see Raider Puppet and chatted with him for a little bit. And so that was cool. But my favorite meeting, and they're all wonderful interactions, but just for the fan in me, my favorite meeting is that Valerie and I are on our way home. We're sitting in the Vegas airport, grabbing a bite to eat because you got to the gate early, and that's what you do.
Right.
Did you break our record? Did you spend over $58 on bagels?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I got 2 records. I got $58 of bagels with you and double Tito's and OJ's with Swag Jeff.
Oh, yes.
At 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Thanks for over-serving us there, Nashville International Airport. Anyway, so we're sitting there having a bite to eat, and there's this really nice older couple sitting next to us on our left. Like, sweet older couple. And we even made a joke. We were like, hey, that'd be cool if that was us one day. He's having a Stella. She's sipping on a glass of wine. They're just having a nice conversation. And I noticed that they're showing pictures on their phones. And it's from Allegiant Stadium.
Okay.
And sweet. Valerie looks down and she goes, look, and she points, and he's got the Alumni duffel bag. And yeah. And I go, and this is an older fella. And I go, excuse me, sir. I go, I noticed your Alumni bag. And he goes, yeah. I said, what teams did you play for? He goes, well, I played for the Raiders. I said, yes, sir. I said, what era? What team? And he goes, oh, I was there in the beginning. And he goes,
nuh-uh.
He goes, oh, look, I'm getting chills. He goes, a lot of us aren't recognized because we were Raiders before Al Davis. I met Wayne Crow. Wayne Crow was part of the 1960 and 61 Raiders. There was only 4 of them in attendance at this event that were alive to be there. One was Jim Otto.
Right.
He was the other one. I'm blanking on the other names now, but on the other 2 that were there. But there's only 4 of these guys that are alive. So here's who Wayne Crow is. This is badass. I didn't even know. I asked him, I said, what is your name? He said, Wayne Crow. I said, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Murph.
Sure.
I host a dopey ass podcast. You know what I mean? So here's his bio. After playing American football for the University of California as a quarterback, Wayne Crow played professionally for 4 seasons as a running back and punter for the Oakland Raiders and Buffalo Bills of the AFL.
Wow.
In 1961, He kicked a 77-yard punt to set the Raider record that wasn't broken until 50 years later when Shane Leckler kicked an 80-yard punt.
No way.
Wayne freaking Crow. Let's go.
Yeah, what a stud, man.
Awesome, right?
How did he look? Did he look good?
Like an 84-year-old man having a beer.
Yeah.
Like, heck yeah, he looked great. I mean, yeah.
Dang.
I know, like they were the sweet, and so and his wife, like we sat there and chat. She told us all about their experience, about how well the Raiders treated them, and about like just like the overall, you know, we joked. I said, so I go, did you get a chance to see the training facility? And he goes, no, I didn't. He goes, but it's a lot different than it was in my day. And I go, well, tell me about that. So he said what they used to do was that they would play at parks. He said, we would have our training camp would be at parks. He goes, the funniest was that we would have to practice where the Little League teams would play. And we would be out there practicing and the Little League teams would show up and kick us off the field.
Wow.
It was awesome, man. This guy is so sweet. And I apologize I didn't get his wife's name, but Wayne Crow, much respect from us here at Raiders Fan Radio,
That's
man.
so
Absolutely.
cool.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Very good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and hit an audio break, and then let's jump into some of this Waller stuff.
Man, that is so cool.
This is Kevin, the Raider nerd, live at the Oakland Raiders tailgate. Raiders! We got Gorilla Rilla. Say hey hi to Uncle Mosh and Murph.
I love you guys. Much love from the black hole, baby. Just win.
Ooh, Swag Jeff, you got something sexy over there.
Hey, and I'm also holding up a jersey.
Yes, you did.
So if you want to get in the mix here, every $10 donation, and you'll be reminded several times tonight because I want to raise a bunch of money for the One Nation
Holy
Foundation.
crap, and we are
you know
off
what I mean?
to a
And
good run.
we are off and running. We are well into $500 right now.
Come on.
So hey, and you know, so last episode we raised a GER. And we were at $500 like 40 minutes in. We were at 28 minutes in, and we were at $560
Oh my
already.
gosh.
So hey man, get in the mix, man. Every $10 donation, let's do it big for the One Nation Foundation tonight.
Let's go. That's awesome,
That's
man.
huge, man.
Good
That is
stuff. We
huge.
appreciate you so very, very much. All right, I want to talk about this Darren Waller thing. I got to get this off my chest.
Get it.
All
Get
right.
it.
So I'm going to play you a call, okay, that came in from the Sea of Fans this week.
Okay.
I'm playing it now because this was sent a couple days ago. And when I heard it at first, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play it, but I don't really get it, okay? Now I'm going to play it for you guys, and I want you to tell me we'll play it, and then I'm going to tell you what's gone on, and then I want your guys' thoughts on this thing.
Hey, this is James. I'm getting tired of that tight end 83 because it feels like I'm looking like a crash because he is trying to say I'm the best and stuff like that. And I understand it's hard to stop drinking or something like that, but come on, humble yourself. And every 2 or 3 months straight, I'm looking at my Raiders post and I will see him. He wants more money, the best ever and stuff like that. And it's looking like I'm seeing the car crash. I 100%, I don't like him, but if he don't have 100 catches and 1,000 yards this year, I will say I'm right. And I don't want that.
All right. So when I first heard that, I'm like, Darren Waller's not a selfish guy. Like, that's not how he rolls. Like, that's not his character, at least for what. Oh, look, we never had dinner with the damn guy, but like, you know, it's for what he exudes, what we've heard him in interviews and whatnot. Here's what's interesting, though, is that I always say on this show, you want the answer to the question, get me to the end of the money, and there's your answer.
Right.
Now, the Raiders here of recent history have not had that be part of their story. That we've seen Derek Carr, we've seen Hunter Renfrow, we've seen even Davante Adams, we've seen Max Crosby. Although there's big numbers, they're team friendly because they allow for more cap room, okay? So Darren Waller, suspiciously, has not been at anything. Now, we know he was healthy. Now, he's got this hamstring, but we know, because we live here, where they hold tight end university. Tight end university was like, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
And he's out running around just fine with George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, Will Compton, everybody out there. He's doing just fine. He was even boxing the day before tight end university at a local gym here. So we know he's healthy. So now I'm not saying you can't get hurt in between, but anyways, but suspiciously he hasn't been in any of the Raiders things. And so we've been kind of like apologizing for him. I have, because I like the guy. I don't agree with James there. I do like Darren Waller. But what I thought has been interesting is that he hasn't been around at the game this weekend. He's not even on the sidelines. Derek Carr, Davante Adams, all these guys that are playing
a couple of weeks ago, he was at a Las Vegas Aces game.
At an Aces game.
With, what his girlfriend plays.
His girlfriend plays.
His boss owns that team as well.
Well, exactly. And so it kind of made sense. But now here we got this home game. I get if you don't go to the away games. I get that. But here we got this home game, and he's not even on the sideline. Like everyone else is there, so it's suspicious. And so that starts to add up. Now all of a sudden, he announces that he's going for a new agent. This is all since James's call, by the way, from now on. James makes his call. Now he announces he's looking for a new agent. He signs with Drew Rosenhaus, who's notorious for milking teams to get the best deal for a player. That's his job. I get it. I'm a capitalist at heart, but I don't like it. First off, that guy's a dick because I met him at the Senior Bowl. He was the only one that prime-timed me at the whole Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
But this is the guy that had T.O. doing sit-ups in his driveway. This is the guy that, represented freaking Antonio Brown, for crying out loud. That tells you all you need to know.
He's notorious for representing jackasses.
Absolutely. So now he signs on with Darren Waller. And then today, Darren Waller's back at practice playing perfectly healthy. Look, I'm not going to say that anything funky's going on. Well, I will say this. That's awful sus, as the kids say. That doesn't, the optics here are not good. I hope, and I'm going to trust that Darren Waller is not that selfish guy. He's not going to try to milk the team for the best deal possible. I get that you want to get yours, but let's not leverage the Raiders, because look at this regime right now. They've already established the idea that they'll move on from your ass.
Sure.
They'll move on from you. That you weren't part of their thing. So if you weren't part of their acquisitions, they'll cut you loose.
Yep.
I don't want to see Darren Waller go sign with another team. I don't want to see another Khalil Mack situation where he's going to demand so much goddamn money that the Raiders are going to be like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and trade him, and then you sign him Jets, or you sign him whatever. What do you think, Swaggle?
I'm a fan of every player that's a Raider until they're not. So today, I'm a Darren Waller fan. I love Darren Waller. He's one of my favorite players. I have several jerseys that say 83 on it. You know what I mean? So, and I hope that they work out this deal. And I feel like he's just a different type of breed of a person than what a T.O. is, than what a Antonio Brown, Deion Sanders, all these different guys that were kind of, notorious for being polarizing and a jackass and doing stupid
and represented
shit.
by Rosenhaus.
And represented by that guy. I don't think Darren Waller's that guy.
Even A-Rod? I think he even represented A-Rod.
I don't know. But anyway, so he, he doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. But, he also, on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, he knows that he is very, very, very good. He knows he's good. And so maybe he gets with this guy and says, hey, I know you're good, and everybody, 31 other teams would love to have you. So, let's see what we got to do. But, I'm a fan of him until he doesn't wear silver and black. And so, so worst case scenario, what happens? He goes and plays somewhere else. Hello, enter Foster Moreau, the best backup tight end in the National Football League.
And he'll get his.
You know what I mean?
And Foster will get paid.
Because
Waller moves on, we're paying Foster.
Well, and that's the thing. And if there's any sort of silver lining to any of this being done right now, I'm glad that it's being done right now, because Waller's got 1 year left on his contract. So we know that we're going to have both of those guys. And by the time that next season rolls around, if Waller decides he can go make more money somewhere else or do something different, then that's fine. Then that's when we throw that money at Foster, because he's great.
Down goes Bledsoe. In comes Brady.
Right.
That's right.
Sorry.
Wally Pip.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be, I'm a big face value guy, man. The caller, no disrespect intended, but you're comparing apples and oranges. His off the field demons are his off the field demons. He was open enough to talk about that and to say the things that he struggles with because, like we've all said, it's really cool when you can see the lives that these guys live outside of the game that they play. And I don't think you can compare that to, okay, he's got the same agent that T.O. had, the same agent that A.B. had, but this guy has also had legitimate players that you've never heard a peep about. Okay,
that's fair.
In
That's
addition
fair.
to having, but just because you have 2 or 3 jackasses in your history, and you were the ones, Don King promoted so many fights and was legitimate for the longest period of time, and then he'd get 1 or 2 of these things that would blow up, and everybody would go crazy. But there's not, he's not just out there picking the people that he thinks are going to turn into a controversy. So get off, Waller. Seriously, get off, Waller.
I got just a devil's advocate, and actually not even that. Just purely, I want to pick your brain on this a little bit. Where do you come out? Because you're an old school guy, and you're also a capitalist at heart, just like all three of us are. Where do you come out on like players getting theirs? Because there's a part of me that I understand that look, if your value is 100% equated to what you can do on the field to help this football team win. I'll tell you another thing, Raider Nation. We often confuse this. Players don't get paid for what they did. They get paid for what the team thinks they're going to do. The Titans don't pay Derrick Henry for running 2,000 yards last year. They pay him to run for 2,000 yards this year.
Absolutely.
That's why they pay you the money. So this ain't about Darren's done this. No, that's not why you're going to get paid. It's what you think he's going to do next. Where do you come out on that balance between here's what's best for the player? There's nothing wrong with maximizing your value. There's nothing wrong with not selling yourself short. But then also when your other teammates, Davante Adams, Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow, these guys are taking these team-friendly deals, where do you come out? I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that do you have grace around that, or do you say, no, man, get yours?
Well, every single one of those guys that you mentioned will all agree that Darren Waller is a specimen. This guy is an amazing athlete. And they're all going to say that, everybody deserves to get what they deserve. And if he deserves it and the Raiders are willing to pay it and it's not causing strife, then so be it. You do what you do for you. Worry about you. Quit freaking worrying about everybody else. If you want to come out and say, hey, you're going to offer me $36 million a year, I can live on $20 million. We're talking about numbers that the three of us can't even fathom.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
right.
So stop it. Stop it. If he needs to be paid, he needs big money to make himself happy to work into the system. Well, I don't begrudge him that. First of all, I don't want to know what slap happy that I'm working next to's making. That's not my business what he makes. I made the best deal I could with my boss with how I do it. And if I feel I need a bonus or I need to be my worth is better and I needed to be upgraded, that's up to me to negotiate that. But I'm not going to say, hey, that jackwagon over there makes more. That's between that jackwagon and his boss. So I think as fans we get too caught up in that. Oh, Kelsey makes this much money and Tom Brady made this much, so Derek should make this. No, that's bullshit. You do you. Worry about freaking you. And if collectively Derek Carr wants to say, I'll drop down to $21 million. If Renfrow says I don't need to be paid all that much, that's on them. Good for them. Good for them. They're showing that to the team. The team will reciprocate somehow. But still, we're talking so much
amount of
money, guys.
Hold on. I want to ask you something. Okay. So that said, and I agree with you, Mosh, 100 million%. I think where it becomes relevant as a fan is that we have a salary cap to account for, and we have only so much room. And so when, like in the Khalil Mack situation, you're talking about so much money that he was looking for, it would actually hamstring the team. It would prevent the team from doing other things. Now, granted, they didn't do much with it, with what they got, but conceptually, the idea is that not only do you gain compensation for him as a player, but then you don't have to pay him $100 million in return.
Exactly.
And so that exchange of value ended up working for the Raiders. Again, it was questionable what they did with it. Here's what's interesting, Jeff. Do you think that is Darren the kind of guy, and I don't want to take you away from your other point too, so please make it as well.
All right, it may be the same point.
Is Darren the kind of guy that's going to do that? And regardless of what, because I agree with Mosh 100 million%. I don't like to talk about another man's money, and don't, except for when it comes to this stuff, because it adds or detracts from a competitive advantage for the team. So that's the only reason that I think it's a relevant discussion. Like, it doesn't, because I'm like Mosh, I don't care what somebody else makes. But from a competitive perspective, do you think Darren has enough awareness to be like, all right, man, let's just get this thing done? And am I overreacting? Is all this talk blown up?
Yeah, I think probably a little bit. I think it's a little blown up. Darren wants to get paid, like Uncle Mosh said, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the difference between a deal like this, where maybe he gets overpaid a little bit, you know why? That's okay, because we already signed Derek Carr. We already signed Davante Adams, Max Crosby, Hunter Renfrow. Our pieces are already there. So if the Raiders have a little extra money to throw at the guy, hey man, here's a couple extra mil. Hey, thanks a lot. Why don't you stick around for one more year after you're, instead of a 3-year deal, let's give you a 4, something like that. But and that kind of leads into some of these other cuts and waivers and stuff that we've got. We've got some expendable money now. We've got a little extra cash. And
what did you say last week? We're worth $3.1 billion?
$3.1 billion, and the Raiders have the third most cap space in the league right now with $17 million.
There you go.
You can defer signing bonus. You can do all kinds of creative ass stuff without even restructuring anybody else to get Darren signed. Because I don't know what the market is, what the top end of the market is for tight end. We ought to know. Somebody in the chat, please. You guys know more about football than we do. Somebody in the chat, tell us what Kelsey's contract is.
Okay.
Because it's going to be like 10%, 15% north of that would be what Derek would get.
I'll tell you this right now, and I can put it in a nutshell.
Okay.
There's not enough. There's at 4-0 at the end of the preseason. There's not enough controversy coming out of Vegas. No, I'm not lying.
Right?
I'm not lying. I'm serious about that. There is not enough controversy. I think so much of this bullshit is fabricated controversy for no other reason than to get clicks. I'm sorry.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
And I wish I was there in Vegas to look at these guys, look them in the eye, and see and have them go, yeah, you're right, Mosh. It's a joke. This is not something. I don't think they talk about it in the receivers room. Hey, what about Waller, man? It ain't being done. This is all fabricated. What else can they say about us? What can they say bad about us? Look at our roster.
That's a great point.
You're exactly right.
That's a great point.
You know what? There has been so much good that has happened this offseason. Oh my gosh, we've had the best offseason that we've had in so long. We've gotten rid of some people that suck ass. They're horrible. Cut you. See you bye. We brought in the best wide receiver in all of football. We re-signed the best slot wide receiver in all of football. We bring in a sack master in Chandler Jones. We re-sign our franchise quarterback. Oh my gosh, there's so much good to talk about. Raider Nation, we don't know what to do with that. We got to talk something. Oh my God. We got to set fire to some sort of trash can. Just ask Emiliano. He does that shit every single day on our damn phone. He's always calling us saying the season's over. The season's over. So this is just the thing. So
it really is.
So who cares?
You know what?
We'll let them do their thing, and then next week when Darren Waller signs a $15 million a year contract for 2-3 years, whatever, then we can just take a breath.
Well, and
or he goes whatever.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
And that the chat is agreeing with everything both you guys are saying. Raider Roo says Kelsey is just over $14 million in average annual value. So that means Darren's probably going to get $17 million. Okay. And look, and that's not even straight numbers because, again, you can defer signing bonuses and all that. The Raiders have plenty of money to do it. So it's just going to be a matter of how healthy are these negotiations going to go? I don't know what the history is between Ziegler and Rosenhaus is. Let's hope it's good. I don't know what Patriots that Rosenhaus represents. Again, chat room, if you know, let us know. But that would be a great reference point to know if there's healthy negotiations that have happened in the past there. But anyways, great discussion from the guys. Great points coming in from the chat room. We appreciate all of you so very, very much for all of your great comments and also your amazing donations to win the signed Davante Adams jersey. Jeff, you got an update for us?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and there's still some people that I know. Big Bass Raiders already in their tees and want to know how much people guessing how much he's going to donate. But hey, get in the mix with this right here. Every $10 donation goes to the One Nation Foundation. We'll do a drawing at the end of the night. I got stacks of poker chips still with no numbers on them. So hey,
there you go.
Some of these could be yours, bro.
There we go.
I can't wait till our next poker night and all these damn chips of ours have got
We were
numbers
just
off.
talking about that.
I'll raise you a 6 and a 4.
All right, Uncle Mosh, take us to a break, and then Jeff's going to tell us about who's the latest Pendejo.
You're listening to The Violator, and I'm live on Raider Fan Radio. Where you at, baby?
Pendejo. 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 Pendejo.
Pendejo. Hey, so much respect to the Pendejo of the week. And I'm going to call him out by name.
Okay.
Because I don't care. Much respect to Richard.P.7711 on TikTok.
Okay.
His
wait, by the way, we're dangerously close to having more TikTok followers than anywhere else.
Absolutely. And I think this guy probably followed us too.
I think probably.
So this, if I don't know if you recognize this guy. If you see him out on the street, this is his profile picture.
So for those of you on the audio podcast, it's a blank screen.
It's blank. It's nothing. And so I've been posting on the socials.
Yeah.
All week, hyping up this Davante Adams jersey, doing all that kind of stuff. And so today I posted another TikTok and said, hey, be here tonight, 7 p.m.
Right.
This music's blaring. We're having fun, all this stuff. And we had one comment.
Okay.
And it's from Richard.P.7711, and he says, no thanks.
Oh. Thanks, Richard, for taking the time.
And I said, we cannot wait. We cannot wait to not see you there. And he said, oh, you won't. And I said, we can't tell you how much we appreciate that you won't be there.
So you started a Richard war.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, come on.
For sure.
Yeah.
I said we can't tell you how much we appreciate that you won't be there. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to not be there. So congratulations, Richard. You are the asshole of the week. Hey!
Oh my God.
There you go.
So when we first started this show, because anytime you do something public and creative like this, you're going to get trolls. You're going to get the haters, as the kids call them. And I used to tell Sonny all the time, let's not get hooked. Like, don't get hooked by some jackass on social media or whatever, unless you engage them in a way that's playful like this. Instead of getting mad about it,
just kill them with kindness.
Just kill them with kindness and thank them for not being around. We appreciate you. You know what? So, Richard, I just want to let you know from the bottom of our hearts, we cannot appreciate you, Raiders Fan Radio, enough for not joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
What's his handle again?
Richard.P.7711. I've memorized it now.
Richard.P.7711. Let's see if we can get him 1,000 more followers followers.
Yeah. Well, you ought to see the people that he follows. It's questionable. It's questionable. It's questionable.
We'll just call it the bots that populate our chat once in a
while. Easy with that. Easy with that.
All right, let's go. Let's hit another break here, and then let's go and check in with what the media's got this week.
Speaking of the media.
Nice.
This is Raiders Fan Radio. I'm Brent Musburger, and I don't care who wins as long as it's the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Ron the Moderator in the chat says, change your name to Passive Aggressive Jeff.
No kidding, right? Yeah, well, he actually responded back to that last message and said, hey, I'm actually not busy. And I said, oh, well, good, clear. It's clear by how fast you're responding to these. Make sure to get as many of those as you can before your mom turns your internet off at 9 o'clock.
Tell him to wipe the Cheeto dust off his fingers or get all over his phone.
Right?
Or something else. Raider Classics. What?
You're a nasty human being.
Oh, I just smell like his pants. Raider Classic says, Pendejo of the Week is a regular segment now. If so, I love it. Raider Gears and Threads, Pendejo. Yeah, man, we love the Pendejo of the Week. It's so fun. And shout out, I believe it was Adam Hill was the one on our YouTube that said, because we see if fans is our, and so so he said some of these sound like the Sea of Pendejos, and so that's where we kind of started this thing. And so thank you to him for that idea, because that was so funny. All right, so let's see in the chat room there tonight. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, our buddy Daniel Mangus, Full Metal Mexican, Raider Gears and Threads, Raider Classics, Ron the Moderator, as I mentioned, Paul Edgerton, Raider Shank, Raider Rude, John Ogle, Chris Rubio is in there, PSP Raiderette, Zach Brewer, Franklin 83. Let's see, Raider Gears and Threads. That's our buddy Jay is in there. Ray Love is in there. William Holcomb is in there. Buddha is in there. The Big Easy is in there. We appreciate all of you so very.
Ashton's in there. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Ashton? Hope you're doing well, pal. All right, so. This is kind of like dipping the toe back into the negative water. But listen.
Yeah, why we got to talk about this guy?
Well, I want to end it because this is it, because we're done. And I want to put a pin in this.
I thought I ended it last week.
Well, you sort of did, but then something else came up that was very...
No, Josh ended it last week.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So something that's very, very interesting is that, so we're talking about this Tom Brady thing. So this Tom Brady thing where... he was turned down joining the Raiders at the last second, blah, blah, blah. And so everybody's saying, well, those comments that he made on the show, The Shop, the HBO show, where he called the quarterback that you're going to stick with that MRFer, that now it's clearly evident he was talking about Derek Carr. So just to, again, not to dwell on the negativity, but just to remind you what we're talking about, here's what Tom said on this, kicked off this whole thing back over during the offseason.
There was a story in free agency. One of the teams, they were interested, and all of a sudden they weren't interested at the very end. I was sitting there thinking, you're sticking with that motherfucker? Are you serious?
Tom probably had no desire to go to that team, but now it's like, why don't you want me?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. When I look back, I'm like, there's no fucking way I would have went to that team. But they said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm going to fuck you up because of that.
All right, Tom. All right, so if that don't flame you up as a Raider fan, now we know. Not only was he talking about our quarterback, now he's talking about our team. Like, you hated Tom Brady before, like, and I was kind of a Tom Brady apologist because regardless of how I feel about the guy, I can appreciate greatness and I appreciate the quarterback position, and he's done it better than anybody in the history of the league. But he no longer put him on my hit list now, Capo. I mean, that should just light you up as a Raider fan now hearing those comments. That said, something very interesting that came up this last week now, and I want to recognize you, Jeff, because we talked about the reason that Gruden would have said no to having Tom be part of the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you remember what you said?
Because he was building something.
And because he didn't want to relinquish the power.
Oh, well, and that too.
That's what you were like, well, no, because it's the Gruden show. It ain't going to be the Tom show. You guys know I don't like to feature, analysts and folks that we don't really care for, but when they are on the point on something, we'll do it. Here's a guy I don't like. He's a former Raven, former Bronco. Don't like Shannon Sharp. He's the one that took one to the house and beat us in the freaking, in the 2000 divisional game. But here he is. Here's Shannon Sharp. No love for the Raiders, but he gives it to you the skinny. And Mosh, I want to hear your feedback on what you think about this in terms of why Gruden said no to Tom Brady.
I think the thing is, Skip, John Gruden did not like the idea of giving up power. When you bring a guy on like a Peyton Manning, you bring a guy on like a Tom Brady, the power shifts. You are no longer the dominant voice in the locker room. They are. And if you know anything about John Gruden is not ceding power to anyone. Derek Carr does not challenge the authority of a John Gruden like a Tom Brady would. And so it takes a special type of a coach. Now, it could possibly lead to a championship, but it takes a coach swallowing his ego, playing second fiddle, taking a back seat in order to have this dynamic on your roster.
Shannon Sharp's dead on.
Right?
He's dead on.
Dead on.
He's dead on. He's dead on. He's dead on. Why would Gruden want that? First of all, we got to go back to what I have said since Gruden got hired all those years ago. He was not hired to come in and to get a Tom Brady and to win a Super Bowl the very next year. He was hired to come in and rebuild a dynasty. And that's what he was doing. You bring in Tom Brady and you bring in Gronk or whatever. You have 1 or 2 years, okay? But somebody last week said, what about our defense? Our defense was like a leaky bucket, man. We couldn't stop anything. So you could score 10 million points, but when you're giving up 12 million, sorry. So Shannon Sharp's dead on. Why? First of all, maybe Gruden, there's not everybody in the whole world that's smitten by Tom Brady. I can recognize the fact that Tom Brady's wonderful as a quarterback, but do I want Tom Brady? No. You ask a million coaches and they'll tell you, would you rather win? And you're gonna get arguments on both sides. Would you rather win with 1 or 2 superstars, or would you rather come to work and be just fired up to go to work with with a team that's full of guys that are ready to run through a wall for you, and you can build up and see them develop? Man, they're going to take the second choice every time. A superstar is a superstar. That's what you get when you hire a superstar. And you know what? Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, go back and check. The Raiders franchise has a way of dealing with superstars. You know what it is? We say, goodbye. We get rid of them. We have developed people that are outstanding players, but when you think you're bigger than the team,
you're gone. You're
John
right.
Gruden the first
You're
time.
right. Don't challenge Al.
Don't challenge Al, and it's gone beyond that. Don't challenge the franchise. Why would the Raiders go against everything that has ever been Raider-esque and bring in a superstar? We traded Kenny Stabler.
Yeah.
Do I need to run down
Dave
the
Casper.
list? Do I need to run down the list? Hello. We don't do that, boys and girls.
That's Mosh. Give some applause on that. That is an incredible salient point. And you're right. And if anybody knew that, it was damn John Gruden. Because when you read any of these books that we got back here, the one Behind the Raiders Shield, the one that our buddy Corcoran and Bruce Kebrick wrote, that's exactly why John Gruden, because he tried to take power from Al, and Al said, you don't take power from me. Bye. I'll trade you for Warren Sapp.
And you know what? And the Raider mystique, Frankenstein's monster killed Frankenstein. Okay? The Raiders organization said, Al, you've built us. Now it's time for you to go, my friend. Yeah. Come on.
The Raiders, that's right. You're right. The Raiders are bigger than an individual. You're right. And it's such a great point. It is such a very, very good point. And you're right, because it would be the Tom Brady show. And the Raiders are never going to be the show for one player. That's great stuff.
And the son of a bitch fumbled.
All right, so here's what's interesting. So I loved your point also too about and referencing the defense, because here's what's okay. So because I brought up last week, I'm like, look, this team wasn't going to win with Tom and Gronk anyways because the defense was so bad. This team can win just fine. So anybody that's still longing for Tom Brady or any other whatever could have been, let's not root for the Raiders that aren't. Let's root for the Raiders that are. The Raiders that are this. Last year, the defensive ranks during our 4-game winning streak to end the season to get us to the playoffs. Points allowed, 19.8. That's tied for 9th. That's a top 10 defense, folks.
Come on.
Yards per play allowed, 4.64. That's 7th. That's a top 10 defense, folks. Look, this is not a Derek Carr apology segment, but if you give Derek a decent-ass defense, maybe get a turnover once in a while, maybe get him good field position once in a while, he could score some effing points, and our Raiders can win just fine. We don't need anybody else. We already got what we need. We got us.
If I could type, and I because my stuff is down over here, I can only read, I can't comment, but I would type in the chat, see my earlier comments about clickbait. This deal supposedly happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're just now bringing it up. Why are we just now bringing it up when the Raiders are 4-0?
Because Dana White's a dumbass.
Because Dana White. Either way, is this one more attempt at clickbait? Is this one more attempt at Raiders controversy? Is this one more attempt at we can't have the bad boys being 4-0? We can't have the bad boys being somebody. No, let's stir some shit in their world and get their minds off. Yeah. Sorry.
Love Full Metal Mexican says, let Uncle Mosh go off the rails in his very own segment. I love it. Heck yeah. When you go, well, you know what? But it's the truth, and appreciate those points. And I was trying to remember back here. So when we coach youth football, there was one that we used to say all the time, and it was, we all we got and we all we need. Like, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, this is all we need. You know what I mean? Like, is who we have now. And so I'm so proud of where this Raider team is today. And again, I would encourage you, Raider Nation, let's root for the Raiders that are, not the Raiders that aren't. So speaking of the Raiders that are, and I also referenced earlier a little bit ago, I don't like to play comments from certain analysts because they're kind of jackassy and take runs at the Raiders. Ryan Clark is a former defensive back for the Steelers. He's got no love for the Raiders, but we featured Davante Adams on his podcast last week. And now here he is, Ryan Clark, doing the day job at ESPN. And listen to what he says about the Raiders. This is crazy, man, this national media stuff having our back. We're not used to it. So like Mosh says, so let's try to make a controversy about it. But listen to this, man. Here we go. Ryan Clark, man.
Let's talk specifically about that three-headed monster that we anticipate with Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Darren Waller. From the defensive perspective, how do you try and stop that? What would you do?
Well, I think one thing is that churches are open during the week, right? You don't necessarily have to wait till Sunday until chapel to start praying. And so I think that's the first thing. Now, on the other side of it is, it's almost like pick your poison. The one thing Josh McDaniels has been credited for doing throughout his career in New England is morphing week to week to find the best matchup, to find the best possible way to attack their opponent. And I believe you'll see that this year. When Hunter Renfrow has a one-on-one and the field is spread out, he's going to work inside the number. When Darren Waller gets to play the number one, you're going to figure out, is this a corner that's matching him? Is it a safety? And any Davante Adams matchup is a mismatch unless it's two of them. And so when you look at these things and you think about Derek Carr, and here's what I'm going to say. I was talking to the head of their PR, and he spoke about how much respect Derek Carr gained in the building last year for the way that he led and for the way that he carried this team to the playoffs. People look at Derek Carr like he doesn't have talent, right? When you watch a really good quarterback in the NFL, if there's no rush on him, footballs do not hit the ground. Now, you might make a play or somebody might drop the ball. It's going to be where it's supposed to be every play. And I got to watch Derek Carr practice, and I was like, yep, that's what it's supposed to look like. This dude is a top 10 talent. Now he has these players around him along with Josh McDaniels. I agree with Tim. How long it takes to understand and master the offense is important, but when they do, they're going to be trouble and they're going to be difficult to stop.
Swag Jeff. React.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Yeah. They better start praying. I mean, like we've said all offseason, man. You can't cover everybody. Can't double everybody. Someone is going to be wide open on every play. It's going to be so good. And you know what? And it's going to make our defense so much better. Because you know what?
Got to.
Because
It's
our number
got to.
ones are going against their number ones every day at practice. And so, you know what? So that's going to make our corners so much better. That's why we were able, and we'll get to all of it, I'm sure. But you know, but that's why it's okay to get rid of a guy like Trayvon Mullen, because they've seen Nate Hobbs go against Hunter Renfrow. They've seen Anthony Averett cover Davante Adams. So like they see all this stuff, and then we didn't see Trayvon Mullen. So see you bye, because these are our guys and they're good.
Well, we're gonna get to the final rosters here, but like, you know, Mosh said a while ago when we saw Trayvon Mullen way down on the depth chart, you know, he's like, if you're not available, you know, and I'm not speaking again for you, but you said if you're not around and you're down, you know what I mean? And now he's gone, you know, so very interesting there. So speaking of covering Davante, oh no, Mosh, you got something.
So in the entire offseason, and the talking heads that are getting paid a lot more money than I've ever made, the talking heads are all saying three-headed monster. You know, they're talking about our wide receiver and our tight end and blah, blah, you know, and then Adams and Waller and Renfrow. They need to double up on a couple of those guys. They need to focus on that. They need to do all that. You know why? Because we want to have Josh Jacobs running for 2,000 yards this year. I'm serious.
Yeah, go ahead and back up in coverage.
Are they so stupid that the whole world is focusing on Derek Carr's arm and forgetting about my running back? Forgetting about little Derrick Henry? Are they really please focus on those three guys? Please drop back 6 people to cover them. Please do. And then watch how we go back to college ball. Run right, run left, run center.
Amen.
You know,
that's a great point.
I mean, until you guys, we got to crowd the box. Oh, what does that mean? You're going single coverage on these 3 guys? Bing, touchdown Raiders!
Yep.
Hello.
You're exactly point. You are exactly right.
Well, you know, Jeff, you that was one of your bold predictions early on, was that Josh Jacobs was going to have the biggest year of his career.
Yeah, well, of course,
my gosh.
He's going to reap the benefits. But you know what? And maybe he won't have the biggest as far as statistical wise. But our running back room will have the best season that they've had in so many years. Because
that's why they kept 5 of them.
They kept 5 of them.
Plus Jacob Johnson. Jacob, I should say.
Jacob Johnson.
They run the hell
they
out
kept
of the ball?
him, and you know, and I'll give respect to him again when we talk about the final 53. But I mean, but they kept Britton Brown. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go, man.
great
All
point.
these guys are gonna have such an amazing season.
All right, let's jump into the next segment, because I want to get us to the final 53. But before that, we're going to have a little love fest around Davante Adams. So let's hit an audio break here and then talk about the great number 17. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, everybody. This is Johnny Spencer from the punk rock band Stringer.
We haven't heard from him in a long time.
And you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph and Uncle Mosh. Go Raiders, baby.
He's so awesome.
Hey, and before we jump into this next segment,
please.
I want to give respect to Big Bass Raider, because we were on a roll there and we weren't really doing it, whatever. He dropped a hundo.
Oh, let's go, Big Bass.
Yeah, man, dropped a $100 bill in there. So thank you very, very much. If you tuned in late, where the hell were you?
You were hanging out with that guy on TikTok.
Oh yeah, you and Richard. But hey, so we're donating. We're raffling off this signed Davante Adams jersey with a certificate of authenticity. Get in the mix, man. Every $10 donation, it all goes to the One Nation Foundation. We're doing good, man. We've had 16 people donate tonight.
Let's go.
So let's keep it going, man. Let's set a record.
Let's
tonight.
go. We appreciate all of you so very, very much. Full Metal Mexican says, "Oh, that beautiful jersey."
Well, yeah,
with hearts in his eyes, and yeah, we all do. Like, that's one of those ones where we get into the fan cave, and I'm like, "Hey, man, we should just make a little donation and just hang it up in here."
You don't know how bad I was telling the wife about this, the whole LaMonica thing, and I'm like, you know, Our house is paid for.
Well, yeah.
I probably did his last on-air interview.
100% we did.
Yeah.
100%
there's
we
no
did.
doubt about that.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. What a legend, and so thankful to have got a chance to spend time with him. And I'm not going to go off the rails because I want to get in the next thing, but I do want to say one of my favorite things of last year was watching you and Daryl chop it up off mic.
No kidding.
About fishing and just life in general. That was such an amazing.
Probably one of the greatest moments of your fan
absolutely.
life.
Absolutely.
I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
For us to be able to sit
It was
back
great.
and see that, that was incredible. That was incredible. Trinidad in there with a $20 donation. Thank you, Trin.
Hey,
We appreciate
Trin.
you,
Thanks, buddy.
Trinidad. Full Metal Mexican says, surprised that ain't on your wall, Murph. Yeah, me too. But we're here for a gregreater purpose, man. We're here to give money to the foundation, which of course gives to the Bolitnikoff Foundation, which we will so proudly present a check at the end of this year on your behalf, on the listening audience of Raiders Fan Radio and supporters of our nonprofit, the One Nation Foundation. All right, so the Raiders everybody knows the Raiders are 4-0. In the preseason. First time so this is interesting. So first time in Raider history, we are undefeated in the preseason.
First time ever, huh?
First time ever. But here's what got but I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I know we were 4-0 in the preseason before because I'll never forget ever. It was like in the early days of NFL Network. The Raiders were 4-0 in the preseason. Warren Sapp was on NFL Network, and he was talking about how important it was for the Raiders locker room to get accustomed to winning. That because we had been losing, and so this was a way for the team to get accustomed to winning, and it was like developing the culture. The Raiders are 4-0. Okay, the Raiders won 2 games that regular season.
We got all the winning out of our system.
We got it all out of our system, and so it was interesting because I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we had gone 4-0 before. So I looked it up. So in 2006, the Oakland Raiders went 4-0 and then lost the last game. So technically, this is the first time we've ever been undefeated in the preseason.
Gotcha.
But we have gone 4-1 before, and at one point we're 4-0 in the preseason. But yeah, so let's hope that history doesn't damn repeat itself. But one of the guys that's going to help us get all those wins this year, of course, as we've talked about so much this offseason, we've already talked about him so much tonight, is Davante Adams. And so the NFL 100, the top 100, if you've been following it, is the best players in the league as voted on by the players in the league. We talked about Derek Carr making this list. We talked about Max Crosby making the list. We talked about Darren Waller making the list. Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, I want to talk about how Hunter Renfrow didn't make
All
that
right,
list.
say that real quick before we get into Davante.
Seriously.
But bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. NFL Network. NFL players or whoever you are. Come on, man. You should have called Derwin James.
Yeah, Derwin James at number 2.
Yeah, man. Come on,
Tom
man.
Brady, greatest players in the league, Tom Brady, Hunter Renfrow, according to Derwin
that's
James.
so damn stupid.
So damn stupid. But, but anyways, at least we got Davante. We talked about it. We were like, okay, who's left? Who's going to be in the final? We knew Davante was going to be on the short list. He was number 6 last year. He's number 7 this year. He's by far the best wide receiver in football. And let's check in with NFL Network as they announce Davante at number 7.
Let's talk Davante Adams and many people.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Best receiver.
Davante Adams, touchdown!
He's arguably one of the best in the game right now, if not the best.
He's one of those guys, he can do everything. They send him vertical, single him up backside. They let him work all the different areas of the field.
That's why he's one of the best in the business.
9-yard touchdown hookup, and they have become the most productive touchdown tandem in Packers history. Love you, man. Love you.
And I feel like he's kind of at the elite level of every single one of those things you're asking a receiver to do.
He's the best receiver in the league, and that's how he practices and that's how he plays. Like, you better put 11 on me to stop me. I'm just that guy. He wants to win every rep.
Yo. Pro Bowler on Pro Bowler.
In my opinion, he's the best receiver in the league right now that I've covered.
You almost got out on that too.
I did. I pushed him and he grabbed my arm and like tripped me.
A great throw and a great catch beats good coverage.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just remember, you're deep, and you know where 17 is at all times.
One-on-one coverage. I don't care who's on Davante Adams. That ball is going out there.
Obviously, he's good at everything. Yeah. But to you, what makes him the best?
Because he practices hard. He competes.
Tell you the one, because he's competitive. Know what I mean? He's not selfish. He's competitive. It's a big difference.
He didn't inch back. He stood firm. He just stood there. He just stood the line froze, so I just took off.
I was really in the flesh with him, so I really got to see how he worked in person. Tell you a different animal.
Davante Adams became the first receiver in league history with 115 catches, 1,350 yards, and 11 touchdowns in back-to-back seasons.
3, 2, 1.
And he's all about the work. He doesn't have to show it on social media for him to be doing it. So I mean, it shows up week in, week out on the field. You know he's doing something right in the offseason and training.
Lost it over the middle for Davante. He's got it at the 50. Davante Adams cutting left.
Great job, Tay.
Oh, sensational grab on the right side.
Sensational.
Yeah. Rainbow's right side. Davante makes the catch, and the Packers are in business.
All day, bro.
And he has some of the nastiest routes. Every route looks like he's going deep.
Just his quickness and suddenness.
I don't know who routes are better out of him and Cooper Kupp. I don't know. Both of them run some amazing routes.
Who was that?
I don't remember.
Shut up.
It's like he has the patience to it, you know, to where it's almost basketball on the grass.
You can tell he played basketball. He loses a lot of his basketball moves on them boys.
He doesn't give you a chance to get your hands on him.
With respect to route running, where creating separation is the name of the game, Adams has indeed separated himself from his competition.
Great job, man. Great job. Whip his ass off the line.
You already know. He's faster than you think. His deceptive speed. I didn't think he was that fast, but hey, he got me on one now. I said, okay, I seen the speed.
Gets a lot of yak after the catch, man. He tends to shake and juke and a lot of that. And 9 times out of 10, he'll get you.
Great, yet subtle move after the catch.
Like that, and then he just... You can't sit in a chair with Davante. He makes a lot of guys sit in a chair.
I love that you can't sit in a chair with him. Like you can't sit back.
How does 17 get that open?
Like he had this one catch against Cincinnati. You got to get that one on film.
This was like a 50-yard bomb downfield where he split safeties.
Over the shoulder, he's got it. Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams.
Safety went with a run read. Flat-footed. Davante to stutter and go. And that's all he needs. He just needs a little bit of space.
So last
That's a hell of a play.
Don't interrupt me again. We know it was a hell of a play. So last year, he's number 6.
Yes.
If he'd have stayed where he was at, if he'd have continued to catch balls from Rodgers, if he'd have gone to Tampa Bay and maybe caught balls from Tom, if he'd have gone to Kansas City and been a threat for the Frog, if he'd have gone to L.A.
For the Frog, I like that.
If he'd have gone wherever, La Grenouille is how the French say it. Oh! If he'd have gone wherever he'd have gone, his number would have been where it should be, number 1. But because he's a Raider, instead of being brought up to where he is, because arguably he's the best in the biz right now.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, no doubt.
Yeah.
Instead of being where he needed to be, he was dropped down. He was penalized for the silver and black. He knows that. We know that. That's in his locker.
Love it.
It's up there.
Love it.
He knows.
Love it.
He knows. We won't have any number 1s.
And you
we
know what?
never will.
And we don't need him.
We don't need
We
him.
don't need him.
Yep,
No.
We don't
absolutely. Yeah, he won't be punished in February when he's holding up
hosting
Lombardi's
that-
trophy.
Oh, let's
You know what I
go.
mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally know.
Yeah, you know, and I just
From
you know,
one former Packer to another former Packer.
Absolutely.
Vince's trophy to Davante. How about that?
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, and you hear a guy like Derwin James talk about. I mean, because they were talking about that on the and Davante Adams told you himself. You know, when I get up there, I know kind of generally what route I'm going to run, but I don't know what moves I'm going to do.
And
I got 3.
I
got 3 for you.
And I love
you
that
press
little-
up against me, I got 3. You stand back, I got 3 for you.
And I take offense to what they said about, he's doing basketball moves. No, he's not. He's doing wrestling moves because every wrestling move has a counter and a counter to that counter and a counter to that.
And you
counter.
know what? And I'll say this to you: he's not doing wrestling moves. He's not doing NBA moves. He's doing Davante Adams moves.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That one jackass or whatever said, I don't know who it is. It's either Cooper Kupp or it's Davante Adams. You know
shut
what?
up.
Davante Adams made Cooper Kupp.
Let's go, dude.
Davante Adams made Hunter Renfrow. He's the master of route running. He's the route running king. You know what? So
you know what's interesting of me, but like because you see him at the top of his not the top of his route, but like at the line of scrimmage, he does that little jump, and you see a lot of receivers will do that little jump. But there's something about the way because like what Jeff said, he's got it calculated. He's got 3 moves already, so it's like when he's it's almost like when he's in the air in that stalled position. He's already figuring out which one of the 3 he's going to bust out. And so whatever you do, the one, like Mosh said, there's the wrestling move and boom, he's got it's fascinating.
It's chess,
and
man.
It's absolutely chess. And it's fascinating. Is it like, you know, and like it's funny, like with players on other teams, like you see, like, especially a team like Green Bay, they're in prime time all the time. You watch a bunch of games, you watch, you know who these guys are, you know about, but then when they become Raiders, at the risk of overusing the term, you become intimately familiar with them as players. You start to like, at least for me, I start to watch film. I start to pay attention to this stuff. I'll watch them when NFL Network is replaying an old Packer game. I'll watch it just so I can see what Davante's doing because now he's a Raider and I want to get familiar with what he's doing. Right. So we gain a different level of familiarity with these players when they start wearing the silver and black. And that guy is so freaking. You heard everybody say it on that clip and otherwise. His release and what he does at the point of attack when he encounters a DB, it's magic. There's nobody else in the league that does that. Guys like Cooper Kupp, guys like Renfrow. I think about like who was that one wide receiver? Who was that one slot guy for the Seahawks? Was it James Baldwin that was a really, really good route runner for Russ back when they won that Super Bowl? Like,
it was like Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin.
Doug Baldwin, that's the guy I'm trying to think of. He was great. Like, so those guys, like they're almost like it's the crispness of their routes is what gets them open. Jerry Rice was like that. It was the precision of it. Not that Davante doesn't have that precision, but because there's a planned improvisation. He's got 3 or 4 moves in his head, and then he's just figuring out which one of them he's going to use in that moment. So there's a fluidity to him that's different. It's not the like bang bang it's not that like I don't know. It's kind of it's crazy. But anyways, Davante Adams is fascinating to watch and so much fun, and we are so excited. And listen, we know he's the best. We'll call him the best, but he's not going to focus on whether he's the best or not. He's going to focus on winning a trophy.
It's a bunch of Hall of Fame receivers that came through here. You know what I mean? The Tim Browns. Obviously, we just had Cliff going to the Hall of Fame. What keeps Davante Adams hungry to one day be able to put on one of them jackets as well?
Man, I just think about what type of company I'll be in, man. Like, you know, and I know that I haven't hit my ceiling. Like, you know, I've gotten all the congratulations, you know, year after year for, you know, the numbers and, you know, the accomplishments that I've gotten along the way so far. But I know that there's a better Davante Adams out there, and that's who I'm chasing. I'm not worried about any other receivers or any, you know, and that's no disrespect to them, but that's not the way I look at the game at this point. Like, I used to care about people saying I'm a top 5 receiver, you know, start top 10 and then go top 5 and then being the best. At this point, like, I'm done making lists, like all of that. Like, I don't even care about who you know, because let's say I'm not. Like, at the end of the day, it don't matter. Like, that's not going to affect that the way I go out there and play and the way that I attack the game. I attack the game like I want to be the best ever. So being the best in the game right now doesn't mean that much to me because I know where I am and I'm secure as a football player.
That's so money, dude. It's what you want to hear, right? Like, that's what you want to hear.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, no player in the NFL is going to come out and be like, "Yeah, I'm the best. I know it." I mean, he's
unless your name's Waller.
But he doesn't have to say it, and there's a difference between being cocky and being confident.
Sure.
But I mean,
he exudes that better than anybody.
Totally,
he is 100% confidence, and there's nothing arrogant about him.
He's not here to be cute. He's here to ball out and play ball.
Let's go, man.
Yep.
Hi, this is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
We appreciate you, Raider Nation. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat room tonight. Fabricator Gil, Franklin83, Raider Critique, Michelle Sweat, Raider Shank is in there. Fabricator Gil says, I'm getting chills thinking of our future peeps. Absolutely, man. It's going to be an amazing offense to watch this year. And thank you, Gil, for dropping that $300 donation in there. And we appreciate
And he's coming to Nashville, right?
He's coming to Nashville. Yeah.
Hey, we got something for you in here in Nashville.
Absolutely.
Whether you win this raffle tonight or not, we got something for you.
We got something for you, man. We appreciate that so very, very much, your kindness and your generosity and everybody that's donated tonight. Jeff, you got an update for us before we get on to this next segment?
Raider Classics donated $10. I know Ebony Graves has thrown in a couple more 10s right there. So
thank you, Miss
Ebony.
Ebony.
We're rocking and
Speaking
rolling,
of
man.
folks we're going to see?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to flash this up at the beginning of every segment here at Raiders Fan Radio. We show this.
And in between, and maybe
in
once in a
between,
while at the end.
whatever. And Full Metal Mexican's in there. Every time I show it up, he goes, "Oh, that jersey. Oh, that jersey." Well, hey, if you want this, every $10 donation gets you one poker chip. There is now 18 people that have donated tonight. And, hey, we're getting close to, maybe kind of where we were last week. We're starting to get close. So keep it coming, man. Let's set a record tonight.
Let's do it, man. Why not? We got a little ways to go. We're going to run long tonight because we've got one more big segment to get to, and then we've got the Sea of Fans. So hang in there with us, Raider Nation. We appreciate you so very, very much. Also, if you're in the chat room, hit the like, and then after the show, if you wouldn't mind, put a comment in the.
Press the damn button, nerd.
Please put that just like Erica just told you there, and so definitely hit that button and head back into the comments there on the YouTube and put a comment in there. That's gonna really help us with the algorithm and which boosts our advertising opportunities and frankly that generates money for the show. And we've got some new advertising stuff coming up, not only with direct sponsorships but also just ad reads and stuff that you're going to hear coming up on the show. Nothing invasive, but hey, man, we're gonna support this One Nation Foundation any way that we can and run this thing up to $8,000 to donate to the Blitnikoffs at the end of the year. All right, so we got the final roster cuts happen. You guys got the rosters in front of you there. Got the new rosters. Before I go to the guys here and to ask about, and we want to hear about you too, chat room. I want to hear about what you've got what your thoughts were on the rosters. Before I go to the guys, I want to throw this out there to you. I've got a trivia question. You guys know I love to spring a trivia question on you once in a while.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
So we'll start with you, Swag Jeff. Okay. Shout out, as much respect, the Raider Den with a 1999 in there. Says, love you guys. Raider Den, we love you too, man. And that is incredibly kind for you to drop that donation. That 100% goes to the One Nation Foundation and gets you 2 poker chips in the running for the Davante Adams jersey. And hey, for those of you that are out there, look, it's amazing when we get these monster donations. But don't forget, we had, in a night of monster donations, we had an item get won with a $20 donation.
So and it was a big item.
And it was a big item. So don't feel like, you know what I mean? Like, don't let that deter you. Definitely throw in there if you can. If you can't, then we understand that too. And just do us a favor and just like retweet us, give us a thumbs up, all that. That's the only support we will ever ask you for or lobby you for. And speaking of that, Tyler Smith with a $50 donation. We appreciate you, Tyler. Says, can't wait for the season. Let's effing go. Raider Nation, #RFR. Thank you, Tyler Smith. That's incredibly kind. It looks like his profile picture, there's maybe him and his son in a football uniform there. It looks like he's got eye black on. So that's very,
right
very
on.
cool.
Respect.
Appreciate you, Tyler Smith. All right, guys. So after all these cuts, Mosh, I'll throw it to you first. So after all these cuts that have happened in these roster spots, There are 14 players in chat room. I want you guys to play along. 14 players on this Raiders roster who played a game for the team at the Oakland Coliseum.
Wow.
Mosh, give me a few, and then we'll leave some room for Jeff there too. But how many of those could you think of off the top of your head there?
I mean, obviously, we're going to go with the biggies. You know, you're going to go. Now, they played as Raiders?
As Raiders, yes. Thank you for that qualification. As Raiders in the Oakland Coliseum.
Okay, so you're going to go Derek. You're going to go Hunter. You're going to go Max.
Right.
You're going to go, was Hobbs there?
No.
No? Okay, I'm out. Oops, sorry. Go, Jeff. Oh, Josh Jacobs.
Oh, there you go. Josh Jacobs, great one. Yep.
All right. So,
all right, Swaggo.
Let's see. We've got Colt Miller.
Colton Miller is one. Yes.
We've got. I'm going to try to go without looking at the roster.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let me give you a hint.
We've got Darren Waller.
I already said
Darren
that.
Waller. Good job.
We've got.
We got two of their sound bites.
Cleve Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell. Great one. Yes, you're correct.
We've got.
Go ahead, Mosh. Spit him.
You go.
Yeah.
Cole.
AJ Cole, 100%.
Sig.
And Trent Sig. Great job, Mosh.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go. Carlson.
Daniel Carlson is one. Correct.
Yep.
You guys are getting close. You guys are getting close to getting home.
How many we got now?
You got 1, 2, 3, 4 left. You've got 10. Good job, guys.
Okay. All right. I gotta look at the roster now.
Okay.
Foster Moreau.
Foster Moreau.
Yeah,
Foster,
of course.
Yes.
Of course.
3 left.
Let's see here.
There's one that's going to be tough.
Jonathan Abram.
Jonathan Abram is one.
Yes.
Good job.
You got
Yeah.
John Abram.
All you just think about that draft class pretty much.
Yep,
You can nail that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now it's going to get tough.
All right.
Now it's going to get tough.
Okay. Give me a hint. So is the last two.
I'll give you a hint is that somebody
Offense or
nailed
defense?
it in one of each.
One offense, one D.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat room is killing it. They just nailed them.
Get it?
Yep, chat room got it. You guys got it?
John Simpson?
No.
James?
Yes, William Holcomb and Ron the Mater. Andre James is one, and last, give it up, Lencho. Give him some applause there.
Wow,
for
John
Lencho.
Hankins.
Jonathan Hankins. Great job there, Lencho.
Yeah, that's
a tough one. I wouldn't have got that one. I wouldn't have gotten Hank off the top.
I didn't know. Andre James played in Oakland Coliseum?
He backed up Rodney Hudson.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you guys did great. You guys rattled off 10 right off the top of your head. I think you got most all of them there.
That is
Great
the
job.
voice of an
What
angel.
about our guy that lives here?
I can't even make eye contact with you right now. Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. You're good.
I know.
Yeah, we're really good, Uncle Mosh.
You guys are really, really good. So our guy, Don Leavitt, would have been one, but he didn't make the team. He's gone.
Is he practice squad? Probably
No, he gone.
Gone, huh?
He gone.
See you bye.
Yeah.
See you bye.
He had a good career. He had a nice
Nice
little career.
Yeah, I don't know if he was, did he sign
I-
with anybody? Did Don Leavitt sign with anybody?
Yeah, he's in freaking Green Bay.
Oh, that's right, because of
Went to go
Bisaccia.
play with Bisaccia.
With Bisaccia.
Oh,
that's right,
well, you know what? That's good for him.
Good for him, for sure.
And I would say dollars to donuts. You see Will Compton wearing a 51 in a green and gold. 40 years old.
Oh, I think so too.
I think so. At some point,
week 2 or 3.
yeah, you're
See-
10.
yeah.
Yeah, you're 10 engaged.
See him head to the frozen
I
tundra
think
for sure.
So. I think so. Kill Jada says, Uncle Mosh, you're the smartest person alive.
Oh, nice.
I used to be when Jeff had that soundbite.
Oh, I do have
It's
it.
still over there. He
Uncle
just never
Mosh,
plays it anymore.
You're the smartest man alive.
There
I
it
just
is.
don't like to say it very much.
Jeez, that's a little hateful, Jeff. Why you gotta hate Uncle Mosh like that?
Bring us down, Jeff. Bring us down.
Murph, what are you thinking?
Murph, Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
All right, so
I hope he plays for the green and gold.
Yeah, why not?
Because I
man?
don't ever want to see him in silver and black again.
Well,
you
you'll have
heard
to
it
tell
here.
him that face to face.
I will.
When we I know
When I
you will.
hand him a signed picture of my chair.
So for those of you that are coming to the Raiders-Titans game in Nashville, for those of you that don't know, we are doing a joint tailgate with the Bussin' with the Boys cruise. So speaking of Will Compton, unless he's playing somewhere and on an active roster, aside from that, he'll be there with
what jersey will he be wearing?
Oh, he's all Raiders.
Oh,
actually, I'll tell you.
He said he was going to root for the Raiders.
Well, I'll tell you exactly
on.
what he's going to be wearing, and I ordered mine today. And listen, I'm not trying to shill other people's merch, but they've got boys shirts, and they did last year. The new one just released, and it says the boys, and it's got like a Las Vegas thing, and it's a skull with cross swords and lightning all the way around it.
Yeah,
it's freaking bad.
I got a couple of those coming too.
You'll see
a couple for everybody in your family.
You'll see
why not?
Yeah, you'll see us sporting that on this show for sure. And so, yeah, those guys do have great merch. I got to give them respect for that. And speaking of merch, head to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear and hit the TeePublic link and buy some of our merch, because anything that you buy on the TeePublic site, we get a kickback. Doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you are coming and you want to sport some Raiders Fan Radio gear, or if you just want to wear Raiders Fan Radio gear at any time, if you want to have Mosh's visage branded on your chest, go there and buy a damn shirt. And 100% of the proceeds that we get goes to the One Nation Foundation.
And my visage.
And your visage. We're all about visages around here. All right, so one visage you will not see in around the Raiders anymore is that of Alex Leatherwood, and so man, so
thank you.
Wow,
it's time.
Wow. So okay, listen. So
no one is safe in this regime, I love that. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to put up with any bullshit no matter when you were drafted, no matter how good you used to be or in college or pro or whatever. If you ain't cutting it, then you get cut.
You're gone.
So do you think, and I know he's been on the hit list for 4 years, but the fact that Leatherwood is gone and Klee is still there, how does that work? You know, I know that's got to make Q's head explode.
Well, it's kind of the same argument, because, okay, so Alex Leatherwood has value in the run game at guard. We've seen him do well there.
Yep.
We've seen Cleve Farrell do well against the run game on the defensive side of the ball, whether at defensive end or whatever edge now they call it, or even when he kicks inside. So it's kind of the same thing. But when you think about it, Cleve's at the end of his run. So like Clee basically occupies a depth position for very little money,
right,
at this point, because he's at the end
decent
of
his run stop.
So yeah, where Alex Leatherwood, do you want to spend any more time trying to develop him? And you've got way more runway because you've got a 4-year run still on his contract. So it's like, if you're going to keep him around, you're going to keep him around for the length, where Cleveland Farrell's likely gone, unless he just balls out this year for some reason. None of us would expect.
Okay, now that says to me they're looking at different schemes.
100%.
That's what it said to me. It says the scheming that they're planning on doesn't include Leatherwood's skill sets, but the scheming that they're planning on for defense includes the skill set that Klee brings.
Absolutely,
So,
because you can
kind of like that.
Well, because that's the thing, that Patrick Graham runs this highly versatile defense. You're going to have players moving around all over the place based on matchups. So can you move Cleve Farrell into a position on the defensive line to where he has a competitive matchup?
Right.
You can't do that with Alex Leatherwood. You're not moving him around on the line. Yeah, you can kick him into guard, or yeah, you can put him out of tackle, but he's a liability. So where Cleve Farrell can basically, just like, you could take advantage of that skill set specifically based on whatever that certain alignment or matchup is. So that's a great point, Mosh. And so it's sad to see the young man go. I'm thankful that the Bears picked him up, because they save us $6 million bucks on the freaking, not only on the dead cap, but on the actual cash itself. The Raiders don't have to pay that $6 million. So that's going to be a huge benefit to us. So no harm, no foul, other than the fact that you lose a first-round draft pick. I wish him well, man.
And you bring up his first round draft pick. So I just almost contradicted myself on what I said, where it doesn't matter where you were drafted, when you were drafted, whatever. If you suck, then you're going to get cut. But I think that if Alex Leatherwood was maybe a 4th round pick last year, then they might have kept him around and developed him. But when you draft an offensive lineman in the 1st round, that's a plug-and-play guy. You don't need to develop a guy like that. You just say, you go block. You go do your thing. We drafted you in the 1st round. We're going to pay you a ton of money. Go out there and do your damn job.
Do what you do. Yep.
Do your job. Protect this quarterback. Don't be a turnstile. Don't let the quarterback get sacked. And as a 1st-round offensive lineman, you're not going to do that. And so, so they figured, you know what? Why try to develop this guy? He was a 1st-round pick that, from Gruden and Mayock, that was their last 1st-round pick, and clearly it ain't working. So See you, bye.
Well, and I think that it's also, too, it's a testament to Jermaine Eluemunor that he's playing pretty good. I know I know that I'm not going to sit here and tell you that any of these players have balled out at that position in the preseason. We've seen consistency to the play, but we've seen some dips, we've seen some valleys, but we've seen some sustained peaks as well. With Jermaine Eluemunor and our new young man, the entire draft class makes this roster. So Thayer Munford is that's your developmental guy. That's the guy you're going to invest in. You're not going to invest in Alex Leatherwood because clearly they don't see enough talent there to invest in. So Munford, a 7th round pick. It doesn't matter where you get picked, and these guys don't care. Ziegler doesn't care because he didn't draft him. Josh McDaniels don't care because he didn't draft him. They didn't draft Josh Jacobs. They didn't draft Jonathan Abram. They didn't draft any of these guys. So they're going to focus on the guys that they did draft, and they think that there's some talent there. So here's what I've been an apologist for Leatherwood, and I've been an apologist for the time needed, and I've said, hey, look, let's be patient. It takes time. You got to develop, and you got to but when you don't develop, and frankly, you recede, and there's all these kind of comments now that now it's like Alex Leatherwood, his mental game was off. It wasn't, because you mentioned Mosh a few weeks ago, he's big, size-wise, speed, agility, he's got all those things, the athleticism, but mentally, what we're hearing now, the reports are, he lost his confidence because he was getting his ass kicked in practice, and then it showed up in the game. And listen to these comments.
Well, he was a meme connoisseur.
Oh my gosh.
He had over 1,000 memes in his phone. He was busy looking up memes. He wasn't watching film. He wasn't doing the right things.
That's what literally the NFL Network description on was.
Yeah, when he was drafted, he's considered a meme connoisseur.
Oh, that's nice for him.
Jeez, is that like a gravy sommelier?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, he's a meme sommelier. Sommelier. Sorry, sommelier. We had a fancy ass sommelier at the Bellagio, by the way, when we were out there for the draft. We went and had dinner at Lago, looked out the Bellagio fountain.
Yeah, I was going to say,
good for you. I had toots for dinner. I had Chili's.
Yeah, so did I. Hit the crickets button.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool when you get a sommelier.
Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts had a sale.
Sommelier this.
Like what Big Raider Trucker did. Let's go.
Hey, Big Raider Trucker. $50 donation to the One Nation Foundation. We won't boo that at all.
Heck no. Thank you, Emiliano. We appreciate you.
131 of you are watching. Big Raider Trucker dropped that, and only 84 of you have hit the like button. Come on.
Hit the like.
Hit the like button.
Hit the subscribe.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
Don't do it for us. Do it for the One Nation Foundation.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. All right. So, so during this last game, Matt Millen is calling the game. Okay. So it's Matt Millen, Beth Mowens, and I was at the game, so I didn't listen to it.
Oh, were you in Vegas?
Yes, I love what you're about to play.
Yeah. So did I mention I was in Vegas watching the game live?
Was this right after the sommelier?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay. So
just a few days before we whipped your ass on live YouTube.
So anyway, I heard about this after the fact, after I got home from Vegas. But this is great. So this is Beth Mowens, Matt Millen, and Rich Gannon calling the game. And listen to Matt Millen. Matt Millen, I love as an announcer.
Crack up.
He was great as a Raider. I love him as an announcer. Not so hot as a Lions GM, 0-16. But this is amazing. He starts to go in on Leatherwood, and then he pulls back. And then listen to how he pulls back on this. This cracks me up.
Trying at the right side there. See, Leatherwood's not good.
He's not good. Is that eligible for the Sizzler?
Right? That's so good. Oh, wait, I missed it. Here we go.
Not good.
I love it.
Not good. No, he's not. Yeah, he's not good. All right. So, anyways, So, good luck to you, Alex Leatherwood, and have fun. Yeah. Actually, thoughts and prayers to Justin Fields. We'll just say that the quarterback that Alex Leatherwood will be protecting from the right side. Going to be a rough year in Chicago. But, anyways, all right. Next up, let's go to. I love the Pat McAfee show. Huge fan of Pat McAfee. If you're a wrestling fan, you love Pat McAfee.
Sure.
He's actually pretty good freaking wrestler, man. And
Yeah, he does pretty good.
He does pretty.
He holds his
freaking
own.
good. He holds his own, absolutely. And so, and he's got a great podcast. Of course, the Pat McAfee Show. It's actually like a live thing now. But anyways, they dug in on this, not only Leatherwood, but the Raiders, all of the cuts and the roster moves here. So let's check in with those guys.
The Raiders are waiving former first-round pick Alex Leatherwood, per source. They tried to trade him to everyone, got 32 no's. Ian Rappaport kind of burying Alex Leatherwood here a little bit.
Oh yeah, so let me say this. So Ian Rappaport puts out a tweet and he says the Raiders offered Alex Leatherwood to all teams in the NFL and got 32 no's. Like that's such a subtle that's a Swag Jeff passive aggressive dig.
No kidding.
Everybody said no to Alex Leatherwood.
We can't wait to not have him on our team.
Yeah.
But no reason for that. Recently drafted Alex Leatherwood, right?
2021, number 17 overall. Played him at guard last year. Drafted him as a tackle. That's out of Alabama, big boy.
Yeah. So this is similar to what we were chatting about earlier with new regime.
Correct.
It is very easy to accidentally say, hey, we have no loyalties to you. So if you're not holding up your end of you are being judged exactly how a fourth rounder is being judged, a seventh rounder is being judged, because we've been given the green light by the owner here to build this how we see fit as opposed to the last group. Let's assume he gets picked up. I don't know how many first round offensive linemen end up as free agents in the world that we live in today. But it is something that new regime, new look, new feel, no, I don't want to say no loyalty, but really, honestly, less than in any other situation.
And this was, I remember this pick. This was a big reach that everyone was talking about. That I think Gruden made, and he flamed out of this spot. But first round talent, so he was at least a second, third round on some people's board, I would assume. So hopefully he lands on his feet. But wow. They still that's fully guaranteed though. From
they have to
Raiders,
$7.9 million against their cap is what they have to take.
So they're gonna have to pay him one to move on. Ari Mirov started tweeting about Raiders first round picks from 2019 to 2021. Jonathan Abram in 2019, fifth year declined. Josh Jacobs 2019, fifth year declined. Clellan,
there's another reach.
fifth year declined.
Clemson.
Damon Arnett cut. Henry Ruggs the third cut. Alex Leatherwood cut. This is very much a, hey, I understand what was promised to you in the past and what you're supposed to be, but if you ain't doing what we need you to do, or if you're even questionable on doing it, we are going to move on and kind of put our fingerprints on this program all over it. Now, Mike Mayock will be remembered as a guy, I think, whose draft picks did not,
right? Yeah. But he could say Gruden made those draft picks,
which everybody was saying at the time, right? As Gruden's in charge of everything.
Yeah, it's tough with Clellan Ferrell, especially because they reached for him and then they took Crosby in the second or third round, and he was
wrong.
Basically
Fourth,
absolute stud. Yeah. Moving on from people is a lot easier if you're the new GM.
All right, here's what I'm going to say about it. We got to get moving, but I'm going to tag this at least. With the Mike Mayock, throwing Mike under the bus, I disagree. John Gruden called the shots on the early picks. Mike Mayock drafted Max Crosby. Mike Mayock drafted Hunter Renfrow. Mike Mayock is the guy that got you those players. Don't you agree, Mosh, that those high round picks that we missed on, that was freaking Gruden.
Okay, so let's just call it what it is. Gruden's low hanging fruit right now. Let's just blame everything on Gruden. Everything's Gruden's fault. Everything's Gruden's fault.
It kind of is though.
Well, it kind of is, but had it panned out, had things turned another way, we still couldn't. Right now, it's not politically correct to sing his accomplishments. So there was some accomplishments, there was some good things, but anything that goes wrong, it's low hanging fruit. They're gonna call him out on everything. And he and Mayock were a team. I know that I've heard the story. We've talked about it on here where he had to show Gruden the films and he had to convince him on Renfrow, blah, 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 blah. But come on. I think we're piling on. Okay. It's just like when Tristan and Vinny used to fight. and then they'd come to me and Vinny'd say, Tristan did this. And I'd say, Tristan, stop it. And then he'd go, yeah, Tristan. And then I'd say, don't pile on. Don't pile on. Quit it. He knows he did wrong. Come on.
All right. Well, here's
piling on.
Well, okay. All right.
I get sick of that shit.
All right, that's a fair point. I think the difference to me though is that it as these things come out, we realize that Gruden was the ultimate power in the Raiders organization in terms of football decisions. And so if you're going to be the ultimate power, you got to absorb. If you're the guy on point, you got to absorb that criticism.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Like
you got to absorb the criticism and you have to pass the glory. And that's what a good leader does.
Amen.
And you know, there was some good things, and I don't care what anybody says. There were some good things that came out of the Gruden regime, and people either loved him or hated him, and the ones that didn't like him forever. But there was some things that were decent, and you know, I think that through his regime, got us back on the track we need to be 100%. To where we are now. So you know, I'm sorry.
I agree. Yeah,
I just get it's ad nauseum the Gruden's let it go. Let it go.
Fair enough.
Let's not worry about the past. Let's move on.
Well, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
The current regime is clearly moving on.
Who gives a shit who drafted him? Let's move on.
They're moving on.
If he ain't doing the job, see ya.
Goodbye. That's absolutely
Call
true.
Chicago.
All right, so the good news is I mentioned that it's not so much an indictment maybe of Alex Leatherwood. Maybe this is an encouraging position on a guy like Jermaine Eluemunor, or even we talked about Thayer Munford. But let's focus on Jermaine Eluemunor for a minute because he's a freaking Englishman. And so honor our buddy Paul. I'm sure Paul would love to hear some good old-fashioned Jermaine Eluemunor discussion. So let's check in with Jermaine as he talks about taking this season a little bit more serious.
What a great
The clean slate was especially good for me because I feel like the last 5 years of my career, I kind of just wasn't as serious as I should have been, whether it was nutrition, weight, mentality. Like I wasn't all in. And, you know, Josh coming knowing who I was and who I am, I've benefited a lot from that. You know, just being able to recreate myself this year, recreate the type of player I am and person I am has been really good for me. And then to have him and Dave here and just, you know, just show me how confident they are in me and what I can do and just keep pushing me forward has been really dope.
I love that, man. I love to hear that comments from the young man. He talks about how last week we heard him talk about how Max has motivated him and pushed him to be better. Yeah, and just so great stuff there. And look forward. Hey, man, I thought he's played great this preseason. I know he fell off a little bit in Game 3 and even a tinge in Game 4, but man, but not big swings. Like I think he's going to be solid while we develop Munford. All right, but here's my favorite Eluemunor comment of the week. Here he is talking about, it's not Jacob, it's Jakob, but it's Jakob. So here you got a couple of Europeans. You got a couple of Europeans. There's a little bit of a rivalry there. So Paul, our good buddy in Shropshire, Mississippi, otherwise known as the UK or England, has been taking on international incidents and on the front lines for us against the French.
He is our ambassador.
He is our ambassador for our RFR ambassador. Well, guess what, Paul? You might have to take on the Germans, too.
Come on.
You and Jermaine.
There's no love there.
Jakob is jealous that I'm from the great country of England, and he is from the second or third best, actually probably third best country of Germany. I'm saying that because I'm on camera. It's, you know, I've never been there, but I think he always wanted to be English, and so, you know, I don't know what the E in Germany, what schnitzel? What's schnitzel? Like fried chicken? Like, they call it schnitzel, and what do they call wieners over there? Like, I don't even know. Like, and the beer isn't, you know.
The beer's the best.
England,
Sorry,
you know?
bro.
He said he loves English food. He just doesn't want to admit it. I think Yacht has the worst taste in everything. Everything. You know, TV, food, clothes, shoes, hair. I mean, honestly, his hair was, you know, don't even get me started on his hair. In New England, that was just, you know. But, yeah, I think he's just jealous that I'm from England and he's not, and I have a cool accent and he doesn't, you know. So, I don't know, you know, you can't make, you know, not everyone likes you. Sometimes you got to roll with it, and, you know, Yacht is Yacht.
Sometimes no one likes you, and you just got to roll with it. That's so funny. Love that, man. Great stuff there from Jermaine Eluemunor. So, you know, one of the themes of this offseason too, Swag Jeff, has been the buddies. There's all these buddies.
Yeah.
Ziegler and McDaniels and Carr and Davante and Max and Chandler.
Yep.
Sounds like we got another buddy.
I love it.
Couple
I
of
love the
we?
guy. I love the boys chopping it up, man. That's so cool. Yeah. I mean, what more do you want? You want these guys vibing and connecting on personal levels and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
That's good stuff.
Come on. So, hey, before we move on, I do want to, is that the end of our roster segment? Because I wanted to ask you guys something. Okay.
Yeah, no, you go. You go. No, you go.
No, you go.
I was going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
I did want to ask you boys about what you thought about the final 53. If there was any,
that's where I was going to. So
if there were any surprises, and I'll sell mine I'll give you mine, and then I'm gonna throw it to you guys. So when I joined Silver and Black today, post game, when I was in Las Vegas, when I saw the Raiders beat the Patriots this last week.
Here we go again.
So I joined Scott Gobranson and Mo Moten. It was
so cool.
Oh, well, thank you. It was really fun joining them from the stadium, from our seats. It was great. Poor Valerie is sitting there holding the damn camera the whole time. I'm like, but it was great, man. And so enjoyed.
Poor Valerie had to sit through a game at Allegiant.
No. She was holding the camera during my segment. Yeah. So
I thought it was a tripod. She's got steady hands, bro.
She's got steady hands.
She got the steady hand.
Moving right along.
So, hey-o.
Stop it.
All right, so, Jeez, swag Jeff.
Don't swag Jeff me.
So anyways, one day so Mo asked me the question. He goes, "Is there anybody on the fringe of the roster that you would like to see that you think is going to make the team?" And I said, "Well, Luke Masterson, number 59, had a great game. He had an interception. And he had a tackle for loss. The Raiders were pretty thin on the depth chart in terms of linebacker." And I said, "So Luke's my guy." So sure enough, Luke Masterson makes the team. So congratulations.
Respect.
Undrafted free agent out of Wake Forest. He's going to back up Jayon Brown. And for all looks of it, pretty versatile, pretty much a ball hawking linebacker, like going to be, a totally like, developing player. But anyway, so shout out Luke. So that was when I was very pleased to see. Anything that you were glad to see or any shockers, Swag Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of going in your direction too. I said it last week on the show. I was really hoping that Britton Brown still had a job.
Yes.
And it's just so I love a good story. I love a good football story, a good sports story, especially when it involves my favorite team in the whole entire world. I love that, Luke Masterson, an undrafted guy, and Britton Brown, our last pick in the draft, a 7th round guy, makes the final 53. I think that's amazing. Much respect to him. And he busted his ass. He deserves it. He deserves it. Now, it was surprise. I mean, I was also sad that we cut Van Valdenberg just because I love saying that guy's name, Van Valdenberg. But it was a shock.
So does Jakob Johnson.
Oh yeah. But I do think that it was very surprising to me to see Keelan Cole get cut. I mean, and I love that we kept DJ Turner. Love that. And because that was another guy that I thought, he's a great guy, he's a good player, but probably going to be a practice squad guy. But to see them keep a guy like him and cut Keelan Cole, like if our team is good enough to cut Keelan Cole, like we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
Good call, Swag.
We
Jeff,
could only
love
have 2 guys on the team we named Cole though.
That is true.
AJ and Quintanerio. But mine was Isaiah Palomalo.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Out of USC.
Okay.
I love that they kept him. I think this is going to be the future right here. I think this is a guy that they don't have to change his game set. I think he's a stud.
Nice, Mosh. Good one.
I think he's special teams and blah blah blah. But I think this is a guy that's gonna learn from when you see people playing in front of you like Abrams and stuff like that. This is gonna be a guy that's gonna be the future for us, and I like him. I like that they kept him.
I love it, Mosh. That's a great call there. And like Will says, you make your you make the team on teams. When you're an undrafted guy or you're a low round guy, like you got to make your place on special teams. Like that's where you have to make your money. And if you can earn your roster spot by making on special teams, and then look what Don Leavitt did. You brought him up.
Totally.
That's a perfect example. He made his mark on special teams. Worked his way into eventually a starting job for a hot minute. So yeah, absolutely. So great stuff there. And yeah, and I like the DJ Turner call out, Jeff. I mean, he had a few great plays. And it just speaks to how deep our wide receiver room is. Between wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends, like, we loaded, fellas. Like, I mean, I don't know how you can not be excited about it. I mean, I still think there's probably a little bit of a challenge on the defensive line. I don't feel great about the way that, of course, we got Andrew Billings and Bilal Nichols, and, we could talk about Big Hank, you know what I mean? So, like, we've got some interior players, but those feel like a drop-off to me from Solomon Thomas and Quentin Jefferson of last year. Those guys played fantastic. Both those guys did excellent job up front. But that said, you may not need those guys because, like Masha said so frequently, if you got Max and you got freaking Chandler Jones coming off the edges, they're going to catch double teams. That should just allow for those guys in the middle to suck up blocks and freaking blow up the middle. So we'll see where this thing goes. But anyways, great stuff there. You guys got anything else on the roster, or let's get to the Sea of Fans?
Did we talk much about Trayvon Mullen?
No, we didn't. Touch it. Hit it.
A lot of people. So I saw people are going bananas on Twitter.
What a shocker.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I saw somebody, and I can't remember who it is, or I would have called him out in the sea of Pendejos. He said that trading Trayvon Mullen was more impactful and hurts more than the Raiders trading Khalil Mack.
Huh?
That's what I said. Huh? What? What you
How
mean?
Does that make any damn
You mean
sense?
the 5 games that Trayvon Mullen played for us?
Yeah, right.
I called this out weeks ago. I'm not saying that I'm Swagstradamus or whatever the hell you want to call it, but I've kind of been out on this guy for a minute because when he plays, he's good. But I can't remember the last game that I watched him actually play where he didn't get hurt. Whether it was he got hurt and came back a few series later, or he just got hurt and was out for 5 games or whatever. Like, he was really reckless with his helmet. He would go in for, helmet to helmet hits and stuff like that. He's just a damn knucklehead and doesn't know how to take care of his body. And so, I mean, all these people, a second round pick when we get a conditional 7th, maybe a 6th. I say, see you bye. I don't miss him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And hey, and in this organization with this front office, any of us could get traded for a conditional 7th round pick, apparently. But I think they're building draft capital. I think that this is like, if you think about, and I'm going to shut up. I'm going to say this real quick, and then I want to get into the Sea of Fans. What does Bill Belichick, to me, do more brilliantly than anybody else in the NFL? He builds value.
Yes.
He will jettison a player while they still have value to retain draft capital. Whether it's, he did it with I don't know, all the different defensive backs that he's had, and Richard Seymour, and all these players, he's gotten rid of them while he could still get value in return. And that's how come the Patriots churn out competitive teams year after year after year, because they're always got trade value there. They've always got draft capital, and then they go out and nail it in the draft, and the next thing you know, they're in the AFC Championship game. So, like, that's the model. And that's what Ziegler and McDaniels are doing now. So, yeah, you're right. And so I think all these conditional 7ths, and people look like, well, what are you going to do with that? I don't know. Draft Britton Brown? Draft Thayer Munford with it? Draft guys that are actually going to make the team with a 7th round pick? We'll take that. Absolutely.
It's like buying a car. You drive the car off the lot, you lose $1,000, but you're driving a really badass ride for 2 years. And then you trade it in and do it again.
Yeah, trade it and do it again. Absolutely. Trade in them rookie contracts.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get Sea of Fans mailbag. Muchacho! You want to come read?
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he's thrown. It is! He caught it!
Oh.
What are you reading? Are you reading Daniel Mangus? You go first.
I got William Holton here. Okay, you got him? Here. You guys, you two do it.
We got it.
The 2 Mark Edwards, you handle it. All right, so here in the Sea of Fans mailbag, we appreciate you joining us. Everybody that is in the chat room tonight, Raider Nick, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, William Holcomb, Greg Abram, Raider Shank is in there, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, Ray Matheson. Let's see, who else we got in there? Paul is in there, Buddha's in there, T3 Sports Guy is in there. We appreciate all of you so very, very much. We appreciate all the donations that have come in tonight to win that signed Davante Adams jersey.
Hey, we are $40 away from a milestone. Let's do it. We're still a little bit away from the all-time record, but we're $40 away from 4 digits. So
let's go. Let's get over $1,000 tonight. That'd be amazing. And Full Metal Mexican says, "Oh, that jersey again." So here in the Sea of Fans mailbag, you can contact us 2 different ways. And listen, we appreciate your Twitter messages and your Instagrams and the Facebooks and all that. But if you want to make sure we're going to get your message or your picture or anything else that you send us, send it via email or call the show. And so if you call the show, it's 909-345-3346. That's when we play your voicemails. Or you can email the show@RaidersFanRadio.com. That incredibly inventive and well thought out email address is show, SHOW, @RaidersFanRadio.com. Send us an email.
You're such a dork.
We would love to hear from you. And so to kick off the email segment, let's throw it over to the legendary Uncle Mosh.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna go out of order a little bit. I need to get this to Raider Shrank because he's got homework.
Okay.
Hello, Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff. First off, I'd just like to apologize to Murph for making the recreation. The recreation. I need the homework. The recreation of Mahomes so long, but Swag Jeff was spot on with what I was trying to say. Tariq, can you hear me? Anyways, let's talk about some more news. There have been some rumors swirling that the Patriots want to trade Isaiah Wynn, their right tackle. He earned a PFF grade of 74.9. I know we hate the pro football fools, but Wynn is a lockdown pass and run blocker. The problem with trading him is that the Pats picked up his 5th-year option, which hurts his trade value a bit. But I think that if we trade for Wynn, we'd be 1 trillion times better than Leatherwood or Parker. Now, let's talk about something more serious. The NFL is claiming the Raider Nation coach, John Gruden, kept sending derogatory emails while he was our coach. I don't deny that what Gruden said in his email was wrong, and it was unacceptable for him to say that. But in my opinion, the NFL is just making baseless claims to try to stop Gruden and his attorneys for searching the commish and his staff. This hit job by the NFL was most likely just an attempt to try to ruin the legacy of the Raiders. Well, like that's new, right? Well, all that did is just make us better. We just capped off the preseason with a win against the Patriots, but with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge running that offense, did we really expect to lose? Also, this is the first time in Raider history that we've gone undefeated in the preseason. Luke Masterson, Tashawn Bauer, and the 2 rookie running backs that were the best players in the game. I've been really impressed with Tashawn Bauer. He had 5 sacks this preseason, which led the NFL. I think we keep him and stash him on the practice squad because I know he'll be good. There has also been news that the Packers want to trade for Darren Waller. Waller has missed almost all practices, fired his agent, and is reportedly looking for a new contract. God, if Waller is traded this season, I will literally cry. When you have one of the best offenses in the league, why would you want to trade a big chunk of that offense away? I say don't do it. I don't think they'll trade him, but I do think that next season will be a big deal contract-wise. That's all for me. I hope everyone is doing well. As the regular season approaches, we will be looking to dust away the blue and yellow dust that the LA Superchargers, what the hell is even a supercharger? A next-gen Apple charger. Take care. Take care, nation. Raider Shrank, proud made man, and currently looking for his first ever BRT Sizzler Award.
Nice job. Appreciate you, Raider Shank. That's a good start.
That's a great start.
Good start. Good start.
All right, now over to my little buddy to hear from one of the Mangai.
This one's from Daniel Mangus. He says, Dear RFR, the autumn wind approaches. Soon summer will be over, and Raider football will return with cans of whoop-ass for all the haters. Training camp was incredible, and ending it with a joint ass-whooping of the Patriots makes it even sweeter. I love the direction this team is going. If you can't get to speed or injury prone, you will not play for this team. I think the happiest person to see Alex Leatherwood gone is our QB, even though he'll never say it in public. He got Carr killed last year, and he was the weakest link on that O-line. Oh, well, I hope the Bears know their O-line just went from bad to straight dog shit, LOL, losers. Anyway, congrats to the 53 men who made the team to become our 2023 Las Vegas Raiders. Cue Hell's Bells.
Hey, nice.
He says,
good job.
P.S. Hey, Herbert, Mad Max is coming for you.
Oh, nice.
A-Bear. Hey, guys, this is William Holcomb from the 530 NorCal. By the time you guys are reading this, the cuts would have been made and the rough draft of the final roster will be out, hopefully with a serviceable right tackle and Bowers and Masterson still on the roster. The level of disrespect to our team by the mainstream is beyond crazy, despite a few who are willing to acknowledge our talent level and opportunity to dominate this season. Do we have some weaknesses on the O-line? Yeah, but so do a lot of other teams in the league. Hell, that schmucks, a.k.a. the Bucks, have lost 3 offensive linemen and are still favorites with PFF to get to the Super Bowl. Jeez, give me a break, old man. Brady's probably rethinking coming out of retirement right now because we all know he can't scramble and run and how bad he hates the pressure up the middle. Then there's the Queefs, led by Darling from Roseanne, who grew up, got a sex change, and decided to play football, and Andy Cuckoo Kachoo Reed and everyone else singing their praises and actually implying that Kermit is going to be better without Tariq. Really? That level of delusion requires medical treatment. And let's not forget about the walking herbal essence commercial and the timeout king down in L.A. The way they've been talked about, we might as well not even play the season and just give them the trophy now. I mean, it's not like they've had a good roster before and done absolutely nothing with it, or been hyped up to win the division before, then failed to even make the playoffs. I mean, I thought a QB couldn't be elite without a playoff win, or at least that's what I've been told. And last but not least, we got the Donkeys. Let's ride! Hopefully everybody off a cliff so that I don't have to hear that stupid-ass saying ever again. Let's not forget we swept them the past 2 seasons, and they finished last in the division last year. They're suddenly one of the best teams in the league. All of a sudden, because they got an aging, out-of-shape QB that was in his prime, was carried by an amazing defense and badass running game. So now he's going to take the new first-time coach and that mediocre O-line and running game to the Super Bowl? Oh, now that's interesting. Not to mention this elite defense that everyone is claiming they have, that Carr has murdered for 4 years, with weaponry not even close to what we have this year. But how is that possible for just an average QB? Guess it's a mystery. Raider Nation, I can't wait for this season. From what I've seen so far this offseason, we have a pretty bright future, and I refuse to be negative about this team. I've been a fan for 30 years, and never have I been so excited for a season. So, in my eyes, I see every game as a win and no obvious losses. I think we can line up against anyone in the NFL. So if you ask me, we're going 17-0 until proven otherwise. Thank you guys for your awesome show and all the true Raider fan content. There's definitely big things in the future for you guys and this show. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Raiders!
Raiders! Oh my gosh, who was that?
That was William Holcomb.
William Holcomb.
5'3" in the NorCal.
All right, so funny. So the walking herbal essence commercial, that
Loved
was
it.
money. And then my other favorite one was, we asked last week for folks to come up with something to counter the let's ride.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's ride, hopefully off a cliff. That was amazing.
Love it.
That was amazing. Great job. All right. What do you got there, big boy?
Got from the other Mangus brother.
There's
says,
only one. I'll explain later.
You know what's funny is that when we were in Alameda, right before you shipped off to the Navy, the Mangus brothers, remember they came to meet us at Domenico's? And they showed up late. Conveniently late, because Mosh's theory, there's only one of them. They didn't want to be shown that there's two.
Situation.
Yeah, catfish situation. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So they say, hello, RFR family. The 53-man roster is finalized for week 1 against the Chokers. This only surprise for me was the trade of Trayvon Mullen. I thought he would be our starter opposite Yasin, but like they always say, the best ability is availability, and he's been hurt too many times to be counted on. There's also the cut of Leatherwood, to be honest, next to Parker. He is our worst offensive lineman and wasn't showing any signs of improvement. So despite the dead money, the front office cuts ties after not finding a trade partner. If it's one thing Ziegler shows with these new moves, We're looking to compete for a Super Bowl, not just make the playoffs.
Let's go.
Now, for my season predictions, I have the Raiders finishing 12-5 overall and going 5-1 in the AFC West. That's good enough for the division crown, depending on the other team's performance. I expect this team to make a deep run in the playoffs and make a strong case for representing the AFC in Arizona. This team has the potential to be one of the greatest and want to silence all the Carr haters, finally, as he finishes his 8-year odyssey and brings the Vince Lombardi to Vegas. Carr wins his first MVP of the league. Adams smashes Kupos records set just last year, and he and Carr become the next great Raider duo. Come on, Raiders. I believe in you. Now go win my first championship. That's all for me. Stay patient. Raider Nation Week 1 is almost here. Yours truly, Matthew Mangus.
Hey, Matthew Mangus. Nice job, Matthew.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well and ready to welcome another season of ups, downs, trials, and tribulations. So another preseason is confined to the history books. The Patriots came to Vegas for a few days, got slapped around at training camp, and convincingly beaten in the game on Friday night that Murph was at. Did he mention that?
Yeah, so I was in Vegas. I stayed at the Bellagio and went to...
You went to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I went to Las Vegas.
Did you go last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
For once on a game day, though, the scoreboard wasn't the highlight for me. And no, I'm not going all Rich Bisaccia. I was seeing the Raiders alumni on the field at halftime. Sadly, the TV coverage didn't show as much as I would have liked. But seeing those guys on the field is always special. I noticed as they left the field, the Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood was playing over the tenor. Just as Kick 'em in the Head, Ted Hendricks' face appeared on the screens in the stadium. Perfect timing and a perfect soundtrack for a group of legendary heroes, and what I wouldn't have given for one of those alumni polo shirts they were wearing. Yeah, that would have been cool. I thought the whole preseason was handled exceptionally well by the coaching staff, and not just because we went 4-0. It was vital that we gave our depth players their chance to shine, and apart from the early showing of Josh Jacobs in Game 1, we didn't see any main starters at all. Some have taken their chance really well, while others have regressed. But that's what we needed to see. We've shown steadily improvement in a short time for the majority of the players. And again, that's down to being given the opportunity and having a good coaching structure. So, well done to the coaching staff and their assistants. All in all, I think preseason deserves an 8.5, maybe even a 9 out of 10. The signs are good. Unlike years gone by when we've lived with the general feeling of dread going into the season because of numerous position weaknesses, this time it looks as if we've only got the O-line to be concerned with. A lot of the groups look very good. Running backs, receivers, tight ends, defensive end, linebackers, and the secondary all look competitive. We can just tighten the O-line with experience, then this season could be revelation. Now, the final preparations have to be made. And as I typed, the final 53-man roster has just been announced. As usual, there's a surprise or two. Leatherwood and Mullen being the obvious. Mo Moten called it perfectly about Mullen on Twitter. Rather than see it as a negative against Mullen, see it as a vote of confidence in Nate Hobbs.
There we go.
I agree. As for Leatherwood, back on episode 253, I made some predictions for the season. The main one being that Alex Leatherwood would be the player that would take the biggest step. Well, that went well, didn't it? I guess I'm right in one sense, but the giant step he took was backwards and out the door. During the commentary versus the Pats, Matt Millen said he thought Leatherwood, while in the early stages of development, should be further along than he is now. I think we all saw him unraveling, and watching him being hit against the Dolphins without raising his arms was awful. I think the kid drowned in expectation and pressure, so a change is good for all concerned. There are more changes to come over the next couple of weeks. Of that, I'm sure. I think Dave Ziegler has got something special up his sleeve for us. Trust the process, folks. These guys seem to know what they're doing. Almost, finally. It seems the Brady to the Raiders story has still got some breath in it. Well, I've got one more thing to say to you, little Tommy Tuck rule. Just imagine if you had managed to achieve the high point of your career and move to God's own team, your inevitable Hall of Fame induction would have to wait until 2075, because that's the way things work for us. Now, go away, you wretched, smug little fart.
you wretched, smug little fart.
That's amazing.
And finally, football is back, baby.
Let's go.
I can't wait for the boys to take LA a week on Sunday and start the journey to number 4. Let's go, Raiders. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Egerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Polly Award winner 2019-2022, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, and international ambassador for RFR Radio. That needs to be added, Paul. And five-time +1 winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Let's go.
Paul!
Paul.
Paul,
your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with
Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
All right, appreciate you, Paul, and appreciate all the emailers. Man, some great emails tonight. Appreciate all of you, Raider Nation. And if you want to send us an email, you can send it at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. And let's jump into the voicemails. So we always kick off the voicemail segment with our good friend Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider. He's the leader of the made men and the made women because every crew needs a captain. And so we call him the Capo, and he always starts off this segment.
Greetings, American Sizzler and Mosh on the bar, Sonny. As far as on Sizzler. Big Raider Trucker, Mojo from the Universe Speech, Ramon the Mean King, Swag Jeff, Wild Raider, Chuck Spiderhead McCann, from the Unique Nation, Ron the Made Raider Nation. You know, the biggest trade in the NFL offseason obviously was the acquisition of Davante Adams from the Packers. Of course, we haven't seen Adams' addition on the field yet, but we anticipate DA-17, you know, taking the Raiders to the next level offensively. Adams reunites with his college, you know, roommate, best friend, Derek Carr, who is coming off the best season of his career in his prime, having led the Raiders to just their second playoff appearance/loss since 2002, despite significant off-the-field distractions. And Chucky says he's a good guy. We believe him. Even though the pair is reunited and it feels so good. DA-17 wants to make it very, very clear that he's in the silver and black to win, baby. DA-17 appeared on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder. And he had this to say about Las Vegas in order, you know, for the team to make the Super Bowl. I'll read the transcribed, quote via Victoria Hernandez of Yahoo Sports. DA-17 said, you know, what's on my mind, I didn't even come here to be cute and hang out with Derek and all of that. Adam said Wednesday on the episode, I want to get that trophy at the end of the year. In 8 years, I wasn't able to get one. But we had some really successful seasons and we did some things. I just wasn't able to get it done. The reference, obviously, people got Adams' Packers days twisted. In 8 seasons with the Packers, DA-17 made the playoffs 6 times, including 4 trips to the NFC Championship game. But he was never able to get over the hump. And it appeared that the Super Bowl was out of his reach, even though he played with the great Aaron Rodgers. Heading into a potential epic season, I want to gauge the apparent strengths and weaknesses of the rest of the competition in the AFC West. Denver Broncos' strength. Not since the genetic freak Peyton Manning has, the Donkeys had the ability or the gall to claim quarterback as a strength on their roster, but they can ride again with the incredibly accurate Russell Wilson. Now, the Broncos' weakness, Denver's front seven, they look a lot different than, you know, since they traded off Von Miller to one of them LA teams. And with the addition of Shelby Harris, you know, being a holdover, Bradley Chubb, the addition of Randy Gregory, it might help them, but the Broncos' pass rush remains a concern, ranking 17th in sacks last season. Kansas City Chiefs. Their strength? The Chiefs have, you know, finished in the top 10 in points, 7 of 9 seasons since pork chop enthusiast Andy Reid was hired. And they've been among the elite ever since Patrick Mahomes has been at the helm. Now, there is a little concern with the regression of said quarterback with the loss of America's dad, yes, Tyreek Hill. But the Chiefs have now a deeper crop of wide receivers across the board. And along with their future Hall of Fame tight end, Travis Kelce, supposedly leading the way. We'll all see what transpires. Now, the Chiefs' weakness, besides simply existing in the meth capital of middle America, Kansas City, the Chiefs struggled to generate much of a pass rush last season. Now, this is one of their weaknesses, and outside of, interior defensive lineman Chris Jones, they really don't have much to speak for. Now, let's move on to the L.A. Superchargers. Now, their strength, the Chargers' pass game is already beginning to compete with the rival Chiefs in the AFC West. That pretty man, Justin Herbert, looks elite through 2 NFL seasons, and wide receivers Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are a terrific tandem. I'll give them their due. L.A.'s averaged over 280 passing yards per game last season in 2021. Now, the Chargers' weakness, the run defense, isn't necessarily a priority for the team, seeing as though they stress analytics and they go for pass rushers. The Chargers still need to improve in that area, however. They allowed, the third most rush yards in the league last year, and the former first-round pick, Kenneth Murray, has regressed. New England Patriots head coach and monotone all-star, Bill Belichick, has been around a long time, and he's seen a lot of different teams' facilities.
This is my favorite part of Aaron's call coming up.
Collegiate ranks. But the Las Vegas Raiders facility stood out to him. The Patriots joined the Raiders last week before getting their asses handed to them out there in Nevada. And Belichick was extremely impressed with what he saw in the Raiders HQ. Belichick said Monday, according to CBS News, I've been to a lot of good facilities and amazing college facilities, but I picked this one up to any of them.
He does Belichick better than Belichick.
All right. He and his team were only a few days, out there in, the fun and sun before they had to go back to their abysmal northeastern digs up there in New England. And they got their asses whipped in Friday night's preseason game. Now, silver linings. Let's give it up to our second, third, and fourth stringers as the not ready for primetime Raiders went 4-0 in the games that actually didn't count. The hit list. Enigma, Jabustus Leatherwood. Cornerback Trayvon Myers, guard Alex Bars, linebacker Curtis Bolton, cornerback Ike Brown, quarterback Bryce Cosby, safety Quinterio Cole, tight end Cole Fotheringham, quarterback Chase Garbers, guard Jordan Meredith, tackle Namadili Olasene, wide receiver Dylan Stoner, great name, homie, defensive end Myron, Tango Vaialola Amosa, defensive end, Zach Van Valkenburg. Running back, Austin Walton. Wide receiver, Isaiah Zuber. Wide receiver, Keelan Cole. Go Big Blue. Offensive lineman, Rodas Brasu. Safety, Matthias Farley. Cornerback, Darius Phillips. Defensive tackle, Kyle Pecco. Tight end, Nick Bowers. Wide receiver, Justin Hall. Defensive tackle, Tyler Lancaster. Linebacker, Tay Davis. And finally, tackle, Brandon Parker, Jackson Mahomes, Roger Goodell, Daniel Snyder, Jim Rome, Mike Wilbon, and this a-hole from KA-Psi, punk-ass Jason Whitlock forever, and Kansas City, an insurrectionist. Oh, let's ride, jackasses. Rope.
Oh, nice. There he is. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. Love it, man. Aaron, you brought it this week. Aaron brings it every week, but man, that was one of his.
He's bringing it in the chat too.
He sang.
Is he lighting it up?
He's saying I'm lighting it up.
Oh, yeah.
He said that I'm picking out season stems over here.
Emiliano
in our group chat he says the glassy eyes of Swag gets me every time.
No, that was my camera. Aaron sang and did an impression.
Gosh, he did everything.
He went with a double bubble on that.
Oh my God, his Bill Belichick is top notch. It was so funny. And so I was on the hit list there. He mentioned Kyle Pecco when we did the roster spot. I thought Pecco kind of played pretty decent on the interior, and he was a big signing. Well, not big signing, but he was a signing for the Titans.
Sure.
I thought it was a surprising cut for me on that one. But anyway, so appreciate you, Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, as always, and look forward to seeing you here in Nashville in 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. We're right at it. All right, let's get into the rest of these voicemails. So to start off is our buddy Captain Jack. Now, Mosh, I'm not going to use Captain Jack's call as a way to launch into an offensive about folks of a certain season in life. But you have a challenge around technology at times, and so does Captain Jack.
What the is this shit? This is Captain Jack. I'm trying to send a friggin' donation, and it won't go through, and I'm driving. You're not supposed to text and drive, and I'm fucking trying to get this donation to you. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm pissed, but I am upset that I can't be there with you. But we'll see out in Tennessee. It's great hanging out with Raider Nation. The fuck is this shit on a Tuesday night? Oh my God! I'm on my way home and I'm drenched because it's Florida. Take care, everybody. This is Captain Jackson. Yeah!
That's literally Uncle Mosh when his computer doesn't work before every episode of RFR. He's like,
"Are you fuckers?" You can't see it, but I have a black screen.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, Uncle Mosh, the technology. So
and I'm with him on the Tuesday night. What is this shit on a Tuesday night?
Oh my gosh! So yes, you and Captain Jack can hang out and try to make the email work on your iPhones when we get together next.
That's real funny. TE, hit the crickets. Here we go.
All right, next up. So I listen. So this guy was in our chat not that long ago, and it was great to see him in the chat. He used to be a very frequent caller to the show, and I was like, hey man, I'm like, call the show again. We'd love to hear from you. Well, he honored the request, and let's check in with our good buddy out there in Jersey. So good to hear from him. He is Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph? Uncle Mom.
Nice.
Young Swaggo. What up to the nation? It's Rev Raider, caller from Jersey. Been a while, I've been out here grinding, trying to do some things, build my own personal dynasty, if you know what I mean. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on with all these cuts going on to talk my bovine excrement as usual. But yeah, man, just looking at this new regime, I'm just looking at it like, they got an attitude of basically, excuse my French, but your feelings and what y'all thought, with these cuts, man. You figure a lot of talk was going around saying that we're not going to cut Alex Leatherwood and stuff like that. He's too much money on the cap hit and stuff. Oh, that's what y'all thought? Gone. Same thing with Trayvon Mullen, man, this guy is one of our best corners. He's got so much talent and stuff. But your best ability is availability, right? He's always hurt. So, thought we was going to keep him? Gone. And to a certain extent, I respect it. I'm still being cautiously optimistic on what they're bringing to the table. And they just seem like they're doing the daggone thing, making their own moves. And they're not worried about what everybody else is thinking, could be good, could be bad. But in the meantime, I'm just sitting, watching, observing, hoping for the best, But hopefully we're gonna have a good season, I'm always gonna be excited about our squad, and we just gotta go out there and knock somebody's head off, and the defense gotta do the same thing.
Let's go.
That's what I want. I know our offense is definitely going to be popping, but the same reason we had to get rid of Alex Leatherwood, he had to go. Why? Because we needed somebody to protect DC. We can't have a great offense if we're not protecting them. But I got more of my eye on the defense, and I'm excited about what they can do. Hopefully it all pans out. But that's all I got, man. I just wanted to call up, say I miss y'all guys. I'm still listening to you, still in the chats, but I'm driving, so I'm not really typing, But love you. Peace.
All right,
Nice.
there it is, Rev Raider.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
Let's go. We love you too, man. We've missed you. And so good to hear you back on Raiders Fan Radio. And yeah, don't text and drive. Don't do any of that
you'll
kind
end
of
up
stuff.
like me and Captain Jack.
Exactly. All right, so next up, let's check in with our buddy up there in Alaska. He calls himself the Northernmost Raider fan. And not only is he in Alaska, he's in Northern Alaska, Tristan. So he's like, protecting us. So we got Paul protecting us on one side, and then we've got, of course, Kiljadis up there on the Russian border. So let's check in with our good buddy, not only Kiljadis, but his friend, Raider Macho Savage.
Undefeated in the preseason. First time in franchise history. And it'll be no mystery on how we'll do in the season. 24-0 and winning the Super Bowl. Ooh, yeah.
I hate to bust the bubble, but there have been plenty of teams that have went undefeated in the preseason and have ended up having a horrible losing season.
Oh, come on. Why can't you just be happy for us?
Because it's the preseason.
Not cool, Kiljadis.
Just saying. Look at some of the teams in the past. The 2008 Detroit Lions. 4-0 in the preseason, ended up going 0-16.
The Lions, that was in the past, though. It's 2008. It's the Lions.
Well, guess what? The 2017 Cleveland Browns also went 4-0 in the preseason, also went 0-16.
That's the Browns. They're the factory of the sadness. And it's difficult for them. This is the Raiders we're talking about. The Raiders. We are different teams compared to them.
Well, in the past 10 years, since recorded in 2020, teams that have gone undefeated in the preseason average around 7.8 wins and only 34% chance of making it to the playoffs.
Well, what's your point, though? We're different. We're the Raiders. The amount of touchdown passes that Carr is going to be having is a block of the sun. Our defense is suffocating. Our special teams are going to be legendary.
Well, I'm just saying this, that though it is nice that we went undefeated in the preseason, granted, it is nice, it should not be a celebration. You know what should be a celebration, though, and what we should be celebrating?
Besides
Leatherwood being released? Yeah, something more than that.
well, what?
To prove those statistics wrong as we go more than 8 wins.
And go to the playoffs?
Yeah.
And win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And go 24-0?
Yeah. No.
Oh, come on. Your hype was about to show.
You'll have to wait another week for that.
Ugh. The waiting is killing me, though. You want some, Jim?
Yeah. I'll have a Jim.
All right, there he is. There's our buddy Kiljadis, the Northernmost Raider fan. All right, so Tristan, you were stationed in the southern part of Spain, in Rota, right, which is not far from the Canary Islands, which is off the Moroccan coast, yeah?
Yep.
So to go from, and I don't know where in northern Alaska Kiljadis is. I think like the northernmost like big cities, what, like Fairbanks? Mm-hmm. So Fairbanks, Alaska to the Canary Islands, where our next caller is coming in from, is an 18-hour flight. Unbelievable. Like it's such a long ways. Like it's so cool. I love how diverse our listening audience is and how scattered all over the globe they are. It's so cool. So let's check in with our buddy. He's Italian born, but he calls himself Raider born. So let's turn on the lights and light some candles, a little aromatherapy if you've got it, and check in with our good buddy Raider Born Rico.
Hey guys, Born Rico here. So another game, another win, and I don't know if Murph will play the message I sent last week. I forgot you were going to the game and you were on a Tuesday, so I sent it on a Wednesday. But hey, again, we correct another liability. And one of our liability in the past few years was the fact that we couldn't tackle the guys. We saw people that we never heard again their name breaking records against us. Well, it won't happen this time because we can finally tackle the guys. We stopped the run when it was the right time. We didn't let them carry too many yards after the catch, and that's why we won the game. We hold them on 2 field goals, and hey guys, they were the Patriots. That was a chess game. but we were able to cover better. As a matter of fact, we got 2 interceptions. We got more sacks than them, 4 sacks against 2, I think. And again, better and better. We saw like we had 4 flags against the Vikings. We had 2 flags against the Dolphins, and now we have only 1 flag against 5 of the Patriots. They normally are the most disciplined team, and we were able to be the best in that case. So kudos to the coaching staff again, and kudos to all those young guys and guys that are trying to make the roster. Listen, you great effort. I don't know who's gonna make the roster, but it didn't really matter. You were great, and especially I want to congratulate Jarrett Stidham and Chase Gerbers, the 2 quarterbacks, Keelan Cole, my man Tyron Johnson in the backfield, Zamir White, Zeus, Britton Brown, and my man Stone Cold Austin Walter. I really hope you're gonna make the roster.
Nice.
To anybody who's not gonna make the roster, goodbye, see you, it was a pleasure, and to everybody who's gonna make the roster, welcome to the nation, baby. With all that said, I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and I'm out.
Ah, there he is, Raider Born Rico, man.
Nice.
We love you too, buddy. Awesome, man.
Unreal. So tonight,
the
chat was unbelievable during Rico. For those of you that are on the podcast, you don't get the responses that we get. The 4 of us can have a good time laughing at the stuff that comes across, but some of the things that were said in the chat, I probably shouldn't repeat.
Ebony Graves says, "Baby, get off the cruise control and hit that pedal."
Yeah, and kill Jadis.
That's hilarious.
Jeez. Somebody said the wife just put on Luther Vandross on the radio.
Oh my gosh.
People were talking about Kill Jadis said, well, I wonder if my coworkers are going to think I'm weird because I took my clothes off. Oh my gosh.
How about Ron the Mater says Barry White listens to Rico when he wants to set the mood?
No kidding.
Rico, you're the best, man.
So good.
So tonight we opened up our emails. Daniel Magus said it's time. We are opening up a can of whoop ass. Raider Shank, he wants a Sizzler real bad. Hang in there, Raider Shank. Give us a call sometime. We want to hear your 15-year-old little self on the phone. William Holcomb, Walking Herbal Essence commercial, and let's ride off a cliff.
Good stuff.
Matthew Mangus, I was reading Tristan's note. Matthew Mangus, he said, go win. Paul, a wretched, smug little fart. I love that line. Yeah. Capo, you killed me. You were kind of making a slam on Coach for the man. I'm having a hard time right now.
It's okay.
Because
I didn't even have my mic on. I'm trying to talk.
I took a little exception to Andy Reid's slam. He talked about Andy Reid being a pork chop enthusiast. Well, you know what? So am I. Captain Jack, you hate technology. So do I, brother. Rev, so good to hear from him. Basically, so cool. He said, F your feelings. Talking about the cuts. And, of course, Kill Jadis was in there. I loved it when he referred to Cleveland as the factory of sadness. And then he and Machos shared a Slim Jim. Rico basically said, adios, folks. Those of you who didn't make it, we'll see you down the road. So we're sorry about that you don't get to play with us anymore. But tonight's BRT Sizzler does not go to a caller. It goes to an email. William Holcomb for his Walking Herbal Essence commercial. Let's ride off a cliff.
I am the Sizzler.
Nice job, William Holcomb.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
All right, we appreciate William Holcomb and all of the great emails and phone calls we have gotten tonight. All right, so we have run.
I'm sorry.
Sure. Oh, I jumped the gun.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we are here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights,
Are you drawing?
Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Go around.
Come over here, behind me. See you, Leatherwood, wood.
I got nothing.
Okay, now now we can appreciate the emailers and the phone callers. We appreciate you so very, very much, and all the amazing messages that you left us this week. We appreciate you. We're running along tonight, so I'm going to shut up quick. Let's get to giving away this Davante. Oh, do we have time for any last-second entries, Jeff? Or are we done?
The entries have closed.
Okay.
If you give anything else, we appreciate those donations, but no more poker chips.
Okay, no more poker chips.
So we've had a lot of money come in tonight. So bring that over here. I'm going to start throwing in, and I'm going to save, like I always do, I'm going to save the big boys for last.
Sure.
We'll put those in last. So Kill Jadis, one chip gang, $10 donation. Tyrone Graves, a $20 donation. Ebony Graves, a $60 donation. Pineapple, a $50 donation. Tider Raider, $20 donation. Chronicles of the Black Hole, $20 donation. Daniel Mangus, a $20 donation. Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, a $20 donation. Kevin the Raider Nerd, a $50 donation. Duke City Raider, $10 donation. John Ogle, $20 donation. Greg, $20 donation. Ron, $20 donation. Let's see. Trinidad, $20 donation. Raider Classics, $10 donation. Raider Den, $40 donation. Let's see. Tyler Smith, a $50 donation. Big Raider Trucker, $50 donation. Wasted Talent, $10 donation. Michelle Sweat, $50 donation. Ryan Matheson, $50 donation. Big Easy, $10 donation. Lencho, a $10 donation.
Wow.
Yeah, and now the big boys. So with a $90 donation tonight, Mike Nezer.
Wow. In Canadian, that's $8,000.
It's a $1 billion for sure. So Big Bass Raider, $150 donation.
Wow.
And the leader in the clubhouse tonight with $330 donation, Fabricator Gil.
Let's go, Gil.
Yeah, man, for
Let's
sure.
mix 'em up, Trish.
All right, here we go. Let's mix them up. Let's go to Mosh's
Mix 'em
camera.
up.
So slide in there. Slide it here. I'll move the camera. There you go, Tristan. Get in there. Get in there with Mosh.
So Tristan's going to be our...
I dropped one of Fabricator Gil's chips.
Tristan's going to be our guest picker tonight. I'm going to stick my hand in there and get them all mixed up so that the ones on the top are now on the bottom, the ones on the bottom are now on the top, the ones in the middle, we're not sure where the hell they went. Hey!
Old Zeke's trying to attack the chips.
Zeke loves chips. All right. Are we drawing for the big shirt first? And then...
Yeah, we're going right out of the gate. Let's go.
All right, Tris. Stick your hand in there. Go deep. Go middle. Go
Keep
top,
it on camera the whole time. Keep it held up.
Wherever you want to go. And then, okay,
Put your
out
finger
one.
down.
And don't reveal it yet.
Okay,
Don't reveal it.
Hold it. Let me see. Okay. Hold it. Put it in your hand. And then turn it so that you can see it. This side, that one's blank. Yeah, you want to put that right in front
All
of
right,
the
is it
camera.
higher or lower than 12?
Lower.
Okay.
Ready? And the winner of the Davante Adams jersey, number 10.
Hey, Fabricator Gil!
And he set a new record for a one-time drop, right? With $300.
And he set a donation record in total. I don't think anyone has ever given over $300 in one show.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, let's draw one more. So we're going to give away some T-shirts.
Yeah.
We're going to give away some T-shirts.
All right, Tristan.
So amazing, Fabricator Gil. And we want to honor all the... Let's do two. Let's do two. Anybody not Gil.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Give me two more.
Okay, there's
two
fish
right
in the
there?
bucket.
Yep. There you go.
So that's a good one. Okay, that's not Gil. Okay.
That's not
Let's
Gil.
get in the audio podcast. We got to dig through Gil's chips.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Next
You
up,
ready?
what we got?
Under 10 and over
Okay.
10. We got one of each.
Okay.
We'll reveal at the same time, Trish. 1, 2, 3. Number 7 and number 16.
Number 7 is Chronicles of the Black
Hey,
Hole.
Daniel.
And number 16 is Big Bass Raider.
Yeah, you guys will all, so anybody that won tonight, make sure you send us your address.
Please.
Send us
So
an
that
address and a shirt size, and we will get a Raiders Fan Radio t-shirt out to you.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Great job there. And so appreciate it. Swag, do we have a total for tonight?
Yes, we do.
We
The
have a
total for tonight
Do we have a
is
new record?
No, we do not have a new record.
Okay,
but
okay.
but you know what? But we kind of skirted up against it right there. We we got a bit close right
Okay,
there.
all
So
right.
this is our second highest night.
Oh my God.
Second highest night.
Amazing.
So the total for the night for the One Nation Foundation is $1,210. Don't play the fat of the week.
I played.
You
I hit
jackass.
I hit a button.
Don't hit
I was
that.
too busy
don't
clapping.
hit-
Do that again.
Don't hit
Cheers.
that button.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
$1,210.
Unbelievable, man. That's so amazing. Thank you, Raider Nation. We 100% of that money goes to the One Nation Foundation. We're going to donate a check to the Bolitnikos at the end of the year on your behalf. I cannot appreciate you enough. Thank you so much for all your kindness and your generosity. Thank you, Tristan Murphy, for being here. Thank you for your service, son. We love you so very, very much and appreciate you joining us here tonight. Raiders Fan Radio. You got any words to anybody on your way out?
Just want to say thank y'all. Thank you for having me on the show. And y'all have a good rest of your night.
Oh, man, we love you, man. Thank you so very, very much. Swag Jeff, take us on out.
Absolutely. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Raider Classics, Michelle Sweat, Big Easy, Paul, Fabricator Gill, that Vegan Raider's in there. And that's actually the name. I didn't just call him that Vegan Raider. Ron the Mater Raider, Ebony Graves, Raider Gears and Threads is in there. Big Bass Raider, Big Easy, Full Metal Mexican, B. Al, Kill Jadis, Big Raider Trucker. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Uncle Mosh, take us home.
Man, what a night. What a night. Gave away a great shirt and raised some money. Thanks tonight, everybody, for listening. For my buddy Murph over there, my namesake Tristan over there, for my little buddy Swaggy J, you got your old Uncle Mosh, and you've been listening to Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. Like Coach Madden used to say, don't worry about the horse being blind, just load the wagon. What happens in Vegas started in Oakland. And this one's for you, Tristan. This comes from our buddy Mojo, lifelong Navy fellas. Adios, malingerers. Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Wear your seatbelts. God bless. Don't drink and drive. And Jack, don't text and drive, you jackass. Are you fuckers? Good
Goodbye.
night, everybody. God bless.
Goodbye.